It's the AFL on NBC. From Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Soul host the Tampa Bay Storm. Plus, we'll have an arena look in from Chicago. Philadelphia in dire need of a victory, led by quarterback Tony Graziani, Papa Mike Pulaski, and Vi Sikahema. Philadelphia will kick off. Tim Cedar, the former Dallas Cowboy, with his first ever kickoff. He was signed just this week, and he gets the iron. T.T. Tolliver of Tampa on the return. And Tolliver gets twisted down at the 10-yard line. Let's take a look at the Netscape starting lineups. Starting with the Tampa Bay Storm on offense. And Shane Stafford, in his fourth year out of Connecticut, 36 touchdown passes on the season. The veteran Lawrence Samuels with 50 catches. T.T. Tolliver and Freddie Solomon dangerous. Both players have been nicked up this season. Lewis Williams will anchor the center spot on the offensive line. He played for the Carolina Panthers. Kelvin Kinney and Ernest Certain also on the line. First and 10 for the Tampa Bay Storm. Samuels makes the catch and gets dragged down by Calvin Colvin after a gain of about 5. Here's the Netscape starting lineups as we take a look at the Philadelphia Soul. Defensively, as a group this year, they've only combined for 2 sacks. So Ron Brown, Eric Goldstein, and Winfield Garnett up front. Calvin Coleman in the secondary, picked up in a trade from New Orleans. Sean Scott is the Jack linebacker.
Right, the J denoting Jack being the receiver linebacker, M being the Mac, who is the fullback linebacker.
Tolliver, the motion man for the Tampa Bay Storm. Stafford to throw. Tolliver wide open, downfield, makes the catch. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Well, Joe Todd this week, he has been a defensive specialist for the Soul the last couple weeks. He was moved to that two-way wide receiver defensive back position, playing into the short side of the field. Coach Markham told us yesterday he's going to see if the wide receiver DBs for the Soul can match up with T.T. Tolliver. Great speed on the outside, and it was nothing but a one-move post. Just gave Todd a look like he was going to run the go, and he was so wide open, looked like Stafford actually pulled the string a little bit on the ball, didn't want to miss him.
So Tolliver connects on his 4th touchdown catch. Matt George in for the extra point. And he's able to knock it through for the Tampa Bay Storm. So just like that, Tampa out to a 7-0 lead on the touchdown pass. Bob Papa along with Mike Pulaski. So glad you can join us. Well, little mayhem out there in the AFL. And, you know, when you take a look at these two teams, 2 very good quarterbacks, starting with Sugar Shane Stafford.
Yeah, and there's a good argument to be made that Shane Stafford is pushing for that first-team All-Arena this year. He said in his second year back as the starter for Tampa Bay, feels very comfortable in that position now, and is really starting to get a feel for Coach Markham, which is hard to do. But he's had a great season so far. 36 touchdowns, now 37, to just 1 interception on the year.
And then Tony Graziani on the other side, 99 touchdown passes last year.
Yeah, and this year he's having a hard time. Communication between quarterbacks and receivers is key. He's coming from a core that he knew to a new team with new receivers. He's trying to get a feel for him, throwing a few more interceptions at 9 this year. He needs to get that communication figured out.
Well, he's going to have to respond right away as Matt George places the ball on the tee for the Tampa Bay Storm. Off to a very good start with Stafford throwing his 37th touchdown pass of the season. George in his 6th year, and the dangerous Steve Smith back deep for Philadelphia. He has 1 return for a touchdown that came against Nashville here on NBC earlier this year.
And Steve Smith, one of the guys that Coach Markham said they had to be very wary of. The return game was something that they wanted to focus on for Tampa this week.
High kick by George. Got a piece of the iron. The mirror man, Todd, was there. There's a flag on the play. Todd to the 15 and wrestled down at the 19-yard line by Ernest Certain.
And the flag is going to be interference. It's going to be Tampa crossing the 5-yard line. They can't break that zone when the kick's in the air. Sometimes when the ball hits the net, pops up, it makes it hard for those guys not to break in.
During the return, kick-catch interference on the kicking team, number 18. The 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. First down.
Tom McCabe is our referee. Tony Graziani, the quarterback, as we take a look at the Netscape starting lineups for the Philadelphia Soul, with Graziani at the quarterback position. So far on the season, 40 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions. Sean Scott is their big play guy with 42 catches and 14 touchdowns.
And Scott has been a guy that Graziani's been comfortable with. He said it's the one guy that he really feels he has timing with.
First and 10 for Philadelphia. Graziani's pass knocked away nicely Good defensive pursuit to the football. Jonathan Ordway stepping in there. The third-year pro out of Boston College. Here are the Netscape starting lineups for the Tampa Bay Storm defensively. Kelvin Kinney, DeMarcus Johnson, and Mike Sutton, just signed from the practice squad this week, will start up front.
And we should look for a little matchup. Coach Markham yesterday told us Kelvin Kinney versus Cyron Brown on that offensive line. He said that Cyron Brown couldn't stop him in practice all year last year when Cyron was down with Tampa.
2nd and 10 for Philadelphia. Smith in motion. Smith settles down, makes the catch. Smith has tremendous speed, and he gets tripped up by Ordway at the 13-yard line.
Tampa Bay Storm, traditionally under Coach Markham, has been a team that plays man coverage. They don't try to mix it up too much and confuse themselves. They just play man. Yesterday, Markham told us that he's going to play off man when he has field to his back because he doesn't want to give up the deep ball. But when they get into the red zone, they're going to play press and play a little bit tighter.
Been a trying week for Tony Graziani. His uncle passed away suddenly. Eric Berklin in Seattle earlier this week. Tony flew out to the West Coast to be with his family. Got back late last night. Only had a day and a half of practice. Graziani to throw, and it's knocked away. Good coverage on the play by Tremaine Jones. For Graziani, his aunt was in town, and his uncle Eric Berklin was back in the Seattle area. His uncle was riding a motorcycle down a hill, and a car going the other way was rear-ended, swerved into his uncle's lane in the motorcycle, and his uncle was killed in the motorcycle accident. And Tony flew back out to the West Coast on Wednesday. Had a chance to practice Wednesday morning. They moved the practice up for him, but he didn't get back until late last night with travel problems coming back from the West Coast.
Yeah, didn't get in until midnight last night, so not fully rested, but it didn't show up right there with the pass to Marcus Knight. Quick sail route to the outside, and Tony Graziani, great touch over the top, being able to fit that ball in before Knight got to the corner.
Graziani with his 41st touchdown pass.
Defense number 66. Offside on the defense. Both penalties are declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
So the touchdown will stand. Marcus Knight, the rookie out of Michigan, running a nice corner route, and Graziani with a perfect pass.
Yeah, right over the top. Marcus Knight is a big receiver. Graziani likes big receivers. He comes from L.A. where he had guys like Greg Hopkins, Chris Jackson. He likes the bigger body. Getting Marcus Knight in there is going to give him a certain level of comfort at the quarterback position.
Marcus Knight played for the Oakland Raiders in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago as Cedar misses the extra point. So the first career extra point for Tim Cedar, signed just this week, goes awry. Tampa Bay by 1. They'll get the ball next.
You don't become a poker champion by playing once a week.
You've got to play a lot of hands with people who challenge your skills. That's why PokerStars.net is such a great place to play.
There's always a game, 24/7, tournaments too.
And you always play free.
With PokerStars extras like statistics, notes, and chat.
PokerStars.net, where champions like Chris
and Greg
play free. And you can too. It's fun, it's free.
And it's the best site for future winners like you.
This is the Subway AFL and NBC studio in New York. Al Troutway, Glenn Parker, and this week we're joined by the man on both sides of the ball for the LA Avengers, Greg Hopkins. And one of the two men who's joining me is a model, and he does that for a living. In his dreams. Forget about it. That's really what Greg Hopkins looks like. So either way, we'll be looking good here at halftime on NBC. Let's go back to Bob Papa, and if Mike Pawlowski doesn't have something quick-witted to say, I'll be shocked.
Clearly, when they said big guns, they weren't talking about Hopkins. It must have been Glenn on there. Hoppy spending all his time in the gyms, but a good look with the $95 wristbands there, Greg.
And I knew it wasn't Parker because we would have seen some tattoos somewhere in there. Enjoy those Subway subs, guys, in the studio.
There was no end to the ribbing that Greg used to take for the modeling that he did during the offseason.
And how about Marcus Knight? He played at Michigan with Tom Brady. He has a touchdown catch, and Tim Cedar has never played in an indoor game until today, signed just this week. And he misses his first extra point. Tolliver to return the kickoff. And it goes underneath the crossbar and out of bounds for a touchback. So he's got an iron, and then he gets a touchback.
That's surprising. Before the game, when we watched him kick a little bit, he was struggling at hitting the iron or just even hitting the net. Now he's got two perfect kicks on kickoff, but he did miss the PAT, so he's getting used to the arena game, and it's hard for kickers in this league.
Well, he spent 2 years with the Cowboys in the 2002 season, or part of it with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Did miss his extra point, but One thing he'd better be prepared for is to get involved in the fray, because kickers in this game have to tackle.
They actually give him shoulder pads for a reason.
Stafford on a 1st and 10. Delivers it incomplete. Crispina, great position on Cliff Dell.
And Stafford was going there with that ball all the way. He had made up his mind to throw that ball beforehand because Keita Crespina was in perfect position to play that out route. Just one of the classic Tampa formations Tampa looks. We talked to Coach Markham yesterday, joked about the amount of plays that he runs. He said he only goes into a game with about 5 plays. So you're going to see a lot of the same motions, same looks today.
There is Tim Markham, the winningest coach in AFL history. 2nd and 10, Stafford, and wide open down the sideline was Samuels. You can't forget about Lawrence Samuels, and he gets dumped at the 21. It's a gain of 18 and a 1st down for the Tampa Bay Storm.
We're going to take a look at this play from the top. It's going to be a post on the inside and just a quick sit down by Samuels on the outside. When the DB runs inside with Freddie Solomon, it leaves Samuels wide open on the sideline for an easy catch and move. That's how you're efficient with the ball. That's what Shane Stafford has been doing so well this season.
And Calvin Coleman, who misread the play, number 24 for Philadelphia, he's a new player to their system. Stafford hits Samuels left flat, and Samuels gets knocked against the wall at the 19-yard line.
You know what happens a lot of the time, Bob, is these DBs try to cheat in. They try to sneak an interception or get a pick somewhere. So if they expect Solomon to run a sit down or a stop, he'll start to sneak in, which is what Coleman was doing on that play. As soon as he ran the post, Calvin realized he had to get back to the outside, but it was too late to get to Samuels.
And a very brisk start for Shane Stafford, the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Storm. No interceptions in his last 182 attempts. 36 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Solomon in motion. Stafford gets hit and gets dropped. Only the 3rd sack of the season recorded by Philadelphia. Winfield Garnett gets his 1st of the year.
And Garnett moving up into that starting line. Dwayne Missouri was the guy out there for a while. Philly has been looking for a big pass rush. They want to get more push out of the middle, and they need to get some upfield pass rush. You know, as a Tampa quarterback, though, you have to expect to get hit a couple times. Tim Markham is focused on hitting the quarterback. So he makes his guys play offense, but they're naturally defensive players. So Shane Stafford should come to expect a little of that.
Solomon, the motion man on the 2nd down. Bullet thrown by Stafford. Again, it's Samuels. And Samuels gets tackled at the 13-yard line. It's a gain of 9. Samuels comes into the ballgame with 50 catches. Last year, a 2nd-team All-AFL player. Holds the Tampa record for most career receptions. In Arena Bowl 17, he was not only the MVP, but the Iron Man of the game.
And last time these two teams played, he got the MVP, the Iron Man, and the Offensive Player of the game. So really a good football player, and he's been outstanding at that receiver linebacker position for Tampa.
Stafford on this 3rd down. Has time. Has Samuels. Touchdown, Tampa Bay Storm. 13 yards. There is a flag on the play in the vicinity of linebacker out of the box.
Illegal defense, number 73 out of the box. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
So Shane Stafford throws his 2nd touchdown pass of the ball game.
And here's a look from up top. You're just going to see a go route on the outside and a shoot route from the inside. What that does is confuse DBs. Over the top. Saw number 21, Eddie Moten, just back off of missing 2 weeks. Got confused on the route, wasn't able to get to the outside. Easy touchdown for Shane Stafford.
And Matt George converts on the extra point. Shane Stafford with his 38th touchdown pass of the season. Lawrence Samuels reels it in.
The AFL on NBC, returning in 2 weeks.
Thank you for calling ADT Security Services.
I just wanted you to know that security system saved me twice.
You all have given me peace of mind.
I tell everybody I see, get an ADT security system.
Like these customers and millions more, you'll feel more secure with ADT in your home. ADT helps protect your family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. And you may save up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. ADT, always there.
Pick it up, Stinky.
Me? You got no stamina.
Only Odor Eaters has Zorbatex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact.
Get tough with foot odor.
Get Odor Eaters Ultra Durable Insoles.
The Netscape internet service lets me choose if I want their unlimited access for just $9.95.
So does NetZero.
And Netscape lets me choose if I want to add email virus scan or Web Accelerator for faster web surfing and email virus scan.
Or, what do you get with those guys?
You just switch to Netscape.
Netscape Internet Service. Get online for $9.95 a month. Add Web Accelerator for faster web surfing. And if you sign up now, get a 1-month free trial. Netscape. Call or log on today.
Tampa Bay has scored on their first 2 possessions. They lead Philadelphia 14-6. Shane Stafford, a pair of touchdown passes. Bob Papa, Mike Pulaski, glad you could join us. Week 8 AFL on NBC. Matt George to kick it off for the Tampa Bay Storm. Smith, and a chance to return it. Smith is fast. Smith is gone. Steve Smith, second kickoff return for a touchdown this season. 57 yards.
And that is as easy as it's going to get. Matt George, kicker for Tampa Bay Storm, did not hit the net. If you don't hit the net versus Steve Smith and you allow him a clean return, he's going to get big yards.
Tim Markham told us yesterday we can't let Smith beat us in the return game.
The return game worried him big time because he knows what kind of an athlete Smith is, and there's no way the kicker's going to make the tackle. And, you know, kickers have been the bane of Tim Markham's existence for the last several years. When we talked to him about his kicker, Matt George, who's had a good season so far, he said, I don't want to talk about the past. I don't want to hex him. I just want to look at the future.
Last year, he went from kicker to kicker to kicker. Finished the year with Ignacio Brache. He's called him Nacho, and he said, if you keep missing kicks, you're not going to be my kicker. Extra point by Cedar, and he knocks that through. Steve Smith goes 57 yards, his second kickoff return for a touchdown this season, and Philadelphia gets a quick response. The AFL on NBC is brought to you by Odor Eaters. Absorbs sweat and destroys odor on contact with new Zorbatex technology. And by ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. Now Philadelphia comes in with a record of 2-5. Their new head coach, James Fuller. His third game on the job. As you get a look at James, replacing Michael Trigg, who was fired. Brings a lot of intensity, a lot of emotion to his ball club as he's talking with Moton about defensive coverages.
There's a couple of things that he learned over the course of his career, and he said when he worked with Coach Belichick that learning the littlest detail, there's no detail too small. That point, that 1 point will help this Philadelphia Soul team because they lacked a lot of the discipline on the small points, which is why they end up at 2-5. They need to get back to focus on the discipline aspect of the game, and if they can do that, they'll do the little things that help you win.
Said Coach Belichick and Ray Rhodes, the former Eagles and Packers head coach, were the 2 biggest influences on him.
Think about this for your first 3 games as a head coach, though. Best arena record versus New York. Then you play against the defending champions, and now you get Tim Markham, top winning coach of all time.
Solomon on the return for Tampa Bay. He's dangerous. And Solomon gets dumped right near midfield. The 31-yard return. Well, Steve Smith takes it to the house. Vicekahema is with him.
Steve, nice job. Hey, you're the league leader in total yards. You just increased that total a little bit more today, huh?
Well, actually, I didn't know that, but
You're doing a good job here. You're keeping this team in it because Shane Stafford across the way here is doing a pretty good job keeping his. That might have taken it away here if you hadn't returned that kickoff.
And now an interception by Philadelphia. Moton gets the pick. There is a flag on the play. Thanks, Vi, for the words with Steve Smith. And
Moton, however, is going to get called for the pass interference. Came directly across Solomon's face, bumped him out of the way. They're going to call him for that.
Pass interference on the defense, number 21. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They get the rookie from Texas A&M at Kingsville for the interference.
Well, take a look right down the middle. They make contact. Moton cuts him off right at the top of his route and takes Solomon's momentum away and uses it for himself to get that ball. Very good defensive play to get in there, but you have to do it without making contact. Take the proper angle, and that's what young players in this league have to learn. Proper angles of arena football. Don't drive to the receiver, drive to the point of the ball.
So a first down for Tampa Bay. Stafford has thrown a pair of touchdown passes.
Go!
Solomon in motion, little hitch pass to Dell, and he gets hit by Crispina and dropped. Kid Crispina played 5 years for the Tampa Bay Storm. So Crispina has to be pretty familiar with Tim Markham's offense, and conversely, Markham's familiar with maybe Crispina's weaknesses as a defender.
He knows Crispina. Told us yesterday he's going to see if Crispina can cover Tolliver today. You end up with your two-way guys getting matched up, and Crispina is the only true two-way guy on this Philadelphia Soul team.
Muhammad in at fullback. Solomon in motion. Solomon takes the flare pass. Solomon pushed out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. Time for an arena look in as we check in with Al Troutwig.
Bob, we take you to Georgia, where it's the Force and the Predators. Big crowd in Georgia, over 14,000. Georgia scores with only 37 seconds left to go up by 9. Good thing they got it.
Yeah, good thing they got it, because Orlando comes back, scores, and Georgia only wins by 2.
So 49-47, Georgia now has their 6th win. Back to you, Bob.
Great performance by Georgia, and boy, they're playing great defense.
Impressive to get that touchdown even against the secondary blitz from Orlando.
3rd and short. Saunders with a touchdown catch on the feed from Stafford. David Saunders with his 5th touchdown catch of the season, and Stafford has thrown 3 already to 3 different receivers.
And they're going to work the ball around like that. Stafford feels comfortable with all these guys. A big thing to me is Stafford took a big shot at the end of this. He throws the slant, gets hit and knocked down, and Tim Markham told him yesterday he's starting to remind him of Jay Gruden. That is a huge compliment. He says he throws touchdowns, just gets back up, and keeps throwing touchdowns.
And that was a tough catch by Saunders. It's not like he had to go back and get that a little bit, but he held on to it. And the extra point by Matt George is good. Now Shane Stafford has started 9 of 10, 103 yards, and 3 touchdown passes for Tampa Bay.
Whatever sport you like to watch, football, touchdown! Yes! Baseball,
Steve Rag 3. Way to go, baby.
basketball,
Take it to the hoop, bro. Yes! Oh, yeah. I'm at.
hockey.
Shoot it, Inglemar, Engelbert, whatever your name is.
Everything looks better on a high-definition widescreen TV from Aaron's. Aaron's has the guaranteed lowest price, and everyone's pre-approved.
Off the run, Bucko! Get him! Kill him!
Get lost. Yeah, go away. Ha ha.
Honey, your dad got your favorite.
He looks hungry.
The new hot, fresh toasted subs are here. Like the Chicken Bacon Ranch. Toasted hot inside and out. Subway. Eat fresh.
Cobra 6, this is Spectre 6.
Target acquired, over.
Target identified.
Element search for Hotel Victor Tango 2 and 8. Execute assault time now.
The players. The passion. The place. The Players' Championship, next Saturday, 2 Eastern, NBC.
Shane Stafford of Tampa Bay has thrown 3 touchdown passes. The Storm in front of Philadelphia. George with the end-over kick. Smith took the last one back. He's going to have to make something happen here. He can with his speed. Steve Smith needs a block. George tries to cut him off, and Smith gets toppled at the 23-yard line. David Saunders, who had the touchdown catch, made the tackle.
Lateral movement for Steve Smith, the key to that return at the line of scrimmage, making the first guy miss.
All right, let's send it down to Vi. He's with Sugar Shane.
Shane Stafford right here. Shane, so far you're making it look easy. 3 touchdowns today to 3 different receivers.
Yeah, they're giving us some things. I just got to take a little better care of the ball. That interception, we got away with one with that pass interference. But our guys are doing a great job right now.
You went to a basketball school in Connecticut. Your dad just won a state championship as a basketball coach on Friday. You're like the point guard out there directing traffic and getting the ball to everybody, huh?
Yeah, it's you know what, they're doing a good job of protecting for me right now, and guys are getting open, so it's just my job to get them the ball.
All right, Sugar Shane Stafford having a great day so far. Back to you guys, Bob and Mike.
All right, and his dad, Dave, is here. Steelton High School. is the school in which Dave Stafford, as an assistant, won a state championship on Friday night.
Big basketball fan. I asked him if he's a point guard. He said, I kind of played everywhere when I played.
2nd and 10 for Philadelphia. Graziani got his man open. No signal. Touchdown. Rob Milanese, the rookie out of Penn, hauled it in. The officials conferred. Good call. Touchdown, Milanese.
Good throw. Good catch. Watch the move. He gives a big stem, a tough inside move, and turns Ordway around. And a good job of keeping his feet in bounds and making that catch against the wall. Remember, it only takes 1 foot in the Arena League. Dragging that toe is what got him in for the touchdown.
Rob Milanese, the 25-year-old from northern New Jersey. His high school teammate was Chris Sims, now quarterback of the Tampa Bay Bucks. Cedar's extra point is good. So with 57 seconds to go here in the first, Rob Milanese with a touchdown catch, and the Storms lead over Philadelphia 21-20. Well, Philadelphia's sole rookie, Rob Milanese, is a local hero in his own right on many levels. From northern New Jersey, and he played his college ball at Philly's own University of Pennsylvania, where he is the Quakers' all-time leader in receiving yards. He finished his collegiate career with the 3rd most catches in Ivy League history and was named an All-Ivy League in his senior year. Franklin Field in Philadelphia.
First receiver at Penn to go over 1,000 yards receiving in the season.
Said when he was a kid, in the summertime, he would work with Chris Sims. They played high school football together. And Phil Sims would come out and give Chris, Phil, of course, the former outstanding quarterback and Super Bowl MVP with the New York Giants, and give him some pointers, and also work with Milanese on route running. Says he was a Giant fan growing up until the Giants let Sims go. Means he was a true fan. A Sims fan, that is. End-over-end kick. Tampa on the return, and Anthony Derricks gets nothing. Gets it back to the 5. Al Troutwig is warmed up. Time for another arena look-in.
Bob, it was first place against last place. Glenn, as we look at one of John Fitzgerald's touchdowns, how the heck did New York lose in Austin?
What you learn about this game is that the best team in the league can lose to the worst team, or conceivably the worst team. It reminds me a lot of another league I know of.
So the Dragons lose first place by percentage points. Bob, back to you.
You know, New York had one of those earlier this year. After a good home win, they went out to Las Vegas. Dalzell didn't even play, and they lost that game. 1st and 10, Tampa. Saunders on the catch, picks up about 5 to the 11-yard line.
Well, every team in this league is talented, so no matter when you go in, you have to strap it up to play. And if you're playing against a team that has a bad record, sometimes you can take them lightly, and I figure that was part of the case for New York.
Well, Shane Stafford taking nothing lightly. Tim Markham said he has grown over the last couple of weeks to such a good level. He's got a lot of confidence in him, and right now he's spreading it around. And that's the end of the first with Philadelphia and Tampa Bay, and the Storm up 21-20. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
So let's put together a starting lineup, shall we? Stanley, of course.
I'm sorry?
What do you play, center?
Why, of course. What's that supposed to mean?
I don't remember saying that.
I heard it.
Well, people hear a lot of things, man.
I can help out if you need me.
I will use your talents come baseball season, my friend, or if we box.
The Office, a new comedy, premieres NBC Thursday.
You gotta be kidding me!
So, we need broadband. Do we go for Optimum Online?
I'm thinking Verizon Business DSL.
I've heard Optimum is fast.
So is Verizon.
Let's talk price.
Price? Verizon starts low and stays low. Doesn't jump up like Optimum Online.
Really?
Does Optimum Online have unlimited remote dial-up access?
No.
Verizon Business DSL, the best value in broadband. Call 1-877-351-5DSL for a special offer and a price that starts low and stays low. Verizon Business DSL, ranked for highest customer satisfaction by J.D. Power and Associates. We're committed to always serving you better. Call 1-877-351-5DSL now.
So now I'm thinking Verizon. Well, I'm thinking my name should be first on the door.
Jewelry, the gifts you'll always remember. The Jewelry Factory manufactures most of their jewelry in their state-of-the-art factories and won't be undersold. 1-carat 3-stone rings are $4.99. 1-carat tennis bracelets are $2.49. 2-carat $3.49. 3-stone pendants are $99, and 1-carat studs are $3.99. The Jewelry Factory has thousands of rings, earrings, pendants, and bracelets, and we guarantee all of the jewelry we make to appraise for double. Buy Factory Direct and Save, the Jewelry Factory in Hackensack.
Put on your dancing shoes. March Madness is here tonight on Mike Up.
It's set for the start of the second quarter. The Tampa Bay Storm and Philadelphia Soul hooked up in a tight one. Tampa Bay 21-20 with the lead and the football. Shane Stafford has thrown 3 touchdown passes to 3 different receivers. Bob Papa, Mike Pulaski, and Vi Sikahema from the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia.
Well, on top of the 3 touchdowns, he's 10 for 11, and he's been hit 4 times and sacked once. So when Markham told us he's starting to look more like Jay Gruden, he's taking shots and he's still completing passes.
9 sacks given up by Tampa Bay this season. Samuels in motion on this second down. Oh, what a catch that time by Solomon, and he takes it inside Philadelphia territory. Moton finally wrestles him down. Gain of 22 for Freddie Solomon.
And sometimes it's just that close between an interception going the other way and a reception for big yards. Calvin Coleman drove on that football, and he was almost there in time to take that ball to the house. Just missed it when he gambled, so Solomon ends up taking it downfield for a big gain.
Coleman had 3 interceptions last year with the New Orleans Voodoo. Solomon, the motion man. 1st and 10. The Tampa Bay Storm. Stafford underneath. T.T. Tolliver gets tripped up by Todd at about the 4-yard line. And 1st and goal for Tampa Bay.
Stafford already just in a rhythm. Now 12 for 13. We talked about him just being 10 for 11. 12 for 13 now, just dropping back, setting his feet, hitting his passes.
Last year, 67 touchdown passes, 13 interceptions. He's hit on 10 in a row. 1st and goal. White, the fullback, takes the toss and gets stood up and stopped. Good pursuit to the football by the defense of Philadelphia. And that's Chris Ryan, the linebacker, stopping the fullback.
Just a toss to the outside. And a good job by Soul Train Ryan getting out there to put the stop on him. David White just coming back. He's been banged up a little bit himself this year at that fullback spot. Tim Markham thought that he'd be a good addition coming back for the team, add some spark to their running game, which has been almost non-existent this season.
And Philadelphia needs their linebackers to make some plays. 2nd and goal. Solomon in motion. Stafford to throw. Looking for Solomon in the back of the end zone, and he's got him for the touchdown. What a feed by Stafford to Solomon.
Good touch over the top because Chris Ryan, playing that MAC linebacker position, was dropping back into coverage, got right to the edge of the box. You see Solomon come across, and Stafford finds a perfect hole behind Ryan just before Solomon ends up running to the wall. That's a tough touch pass, too, because it's such a short distance, you can't put a lot of arc on it. So you have to be able to touch that thing just high enough to clear the MAC linebacker, but get it down quickly enough before that receiver hits the wall.
Tough snap. They get it down, and George sneaks it inside the left upright. So Shane Stafford throws his 40th touchdown pass of the season. Hooking up with Freddie Solomon. Tampa is yet to be stopped.
The AFL on NBC, returning in 2 weeks.
I want to see my fighter. Come on.
Kid, how many fingers I got up?
4.
What city are we in?
I don't know.
You remember what you did last night?
No.
Remember what I did last night?
No.
He's fine. It's all good. Let him in.
All right, here's one. You're stranded on the island. Name 3 things that you want with you.
A beautiful woman, an endless supply of Bud Light, and oh yeah, another beautiful woman.
Hey, Sam. paint the hut?
Not until he builds
the raft. He said he was going to build the raft yesterday.
Girl, he
my
said
mama
today.
told me
Bring
not to
home
get
something
stranded with you.
Oh, I got to work on my fantasies.
Fresh, smooth, real Bud Light.
Now this is what I'm talking about.
It's all here.
Start the day with a splash. Bring on the blue.
Moving to the horizon.
Bring on the blue.
Now you're flying again.
That aqua velvet face, so firm, so fit. That manly scent.
Bring on the blue.
Comes that cool blast you're feeling.
Bring on the blue.
As it touches your skin.
It just feels better with an Aqua Velva Man.
Shane Stafford of the Tampa Bay Storm. 4 touchdown passes on 4 possessions. Matt George to kick off for the Storm. Smith has returned one for a touchdown. It's a live ball. Smith sandwiched at the 5-yard line. The AFL on NBC is brought to you by MVP Baseball 2005 from EA Sports. Experience the hitter's eye. By Bud Light, fresh, smooth, real, it's all here. And by Las Vegas, home of Arena Bowl 19, Sunday, June 12th. Don't miss the party. Tony Graziani and the Philadelphia Soul must answer because Shane Stafford of Tampa Bay on fire.
Go.
Smith in motion. Graziani. Smith. On his feet. Steve Smith is gone. Tremaine Jones missed the tackle, and Steve Smith will make you pay every time. 45 yards for the touchdown.
And that's one way to answer. You answer with a little. Smith comes back and answers with a lot. We're going to see Steve Smith. This is a way to take away the miscommunication, running down here and then to the post. When he does that, it leaves him wide open, soloed up in the field, and gives him space to work with. Graziani doing a good job just picking one guy, sticking with him, throwing the ball, and letting your athletes do the rest of the work. You can't all be on the quarterback. Sometimes the fast guys have to do it too.
And Tremaine Jones missed the tackle. If you miss on Steve Smith, he'll make you pay. Cedar on for the extra point. Good job by Coach Fuller not chasing the 2 yet. Way too early.
Yeah, in this game, you don't chase the 2 before the last minute.
Cedar's kick is good. So after missing his first extra point, Cedar connects, and Steve Smith's got a couple of touchdowns in this ballgame. One on a kick return, and this one on a catch and run after some missed tackles. Philadelphia within 1. It's the AFL on NBC.
Finding your way through the financial maze can be difficult. That's why... So let us help you reach your goal.
A great matchup. Pitcher, Mussina. Hitter, Ramirez. Mussina deals. Check swing by Ramirez, but he'll get another one. Whoa, up and in. Ramirez clearly looking for a pitch.
If you can read it, you can rip it. The Hitter's Eye. Only in MVP Baseball 2005. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. To the game.
Hey, life on the street stinks.
We need odor protection.
Only Odor Eaters has Sorbitex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact.
Don't just fight foot odor and wetness.
Whack it with Odor Eaters Ultra Comfort insoles.
Tonight, 25 million viewers have discovered the contender. And tonight...
3 guys have been eliminated. I'd like you all to vote on bringing one of them back.
And be there for a loving tribute to a fallen contender. All new NBC Tonight, 8/7 Central.
Tim Cedar to kick off for the Philadelphia Soul after Tony Graziani throws a touchdown pass. T.T. Tolliver has to field it. Tolliver, tackled by Sean Scott, goes for a touchback. You have to make an attempt to get it out of the end zone. Shane Stafford, a Pennsylvania native just outside of Harrisburg. 4 touchdown passes for Tampa Bay. Vi Sekahima is standing by with the biggest member of the Shane Stafford fan club.
This is Dave Stafford, the father of Shane. It looks like he's having the kind of day that you probably coached him to do, right?
You know, he's doing real well. You know what I mean?
We know what kind of football player he is. What kind of basketball player was he?
He was pretty good, real good. I coached him in high school, and I'm telling you, he took us to a district title. I mean, we didn't win the district, but he took to us to the district finals.
You guys won the state championship on Friday night in Harrisburg for Pennsylvania. I'm sure you let Shane know. Did he have any words of encouragement for your team before you guys played?
Yeah, he did. You know, he just did what he had to do, you know, and I told him the following night that you know, when I got home Friday, I called him, told him everything, and he said he'd congratulate me, and you know, he's real excited for us.
I've got to ask you, is he a better basketball or football player?
Nah, he's a better football player. Because he's playing pro ball, so.
We're seeing that. Congratulations. Good luck to you, and hope you continue to do well. All right, Dave. Back to you, Bob and Mike.
All right, the dad of Shane Stafford. You know, last year when Tampa played Philadelphia in the Soul their first year in the league, when Shane was growing up, his two favorite quarterbacks were Terry Bradshaw and Ron Jaworski, and he had a chance to meet Jaws last year down in Tampa when Philadelphia played. And of course, Ron Jaworski, the president of the Philadelphia Soul. And there's Ron. No one knows him by Ron. He's Jaws. Samuels with the catch. Takes it up to the 16-yard line. And, you know, Ron Jaworski works with Graziani a little bit on quarterbacking. Still learning the nuances of the game. But, boy, he is fired up and competitive and stunning film and wants to be the best he can possibly be. And he's talking strategy with anybody.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to have dinner with him last week when he came out to San Jose, and he's really into this arena football game. He's learning all the nuance of it as he goes, but he is into this game, and he's extremely passionate about this game.
Stafford, Solomon, twisted down by Moten, but a first down for the Tampa Bay Storm. They're just rolling along. So is Al Troutwig with an arena look in.
Hey, Bob, New Orleans and Chicago, part of our regional coverage today, and we've got two good games. Sometimes it pays to run the ball a lot.
It pays to self-scout yourself. You fake the run. It's like you always do to McMillan. Throw right back to J-Mo. John Moyer gets wide open.
Chicago is at home. Both teams have winning records, tied at 21. Bob?
That's the beauty of the AFL, the lineman of the year going out and catching a pass.
Yeah, and the beauty of running the football in the AFL is having play action down in the red zone.
1st and 10. Stafford on the pump fake looking for Samuel. Good coverage by Coleman.
And trying to do just a little bit too much. Samuels ran a hitch and go on the outside. When he ran the go, Coleman was right in position. Stafford just throwing the ball away, making sure he didn't throw the interception. So you watch just a quick sit down. Solomon on the inside looking for it. He's running the complimentary route for the inside, trying to get open, but Stafford looking for the touchdown, throws it outside to Samuels.
And Stafford said that Solomon just runs such disciplined routes. He loves working with him. 2nd and 10. Solomon can't reel that one in. Well, at NBCSports.com, a special section has coverage of this weekend's games of the AFL. Plus, check out analysis from Pat Hayden and Glenn Parker on the hottest topics in arena football, including how the Tampa Bay Storm have benefited from the improved play of Sugar Shane Stafford. It's all at NBCSports.com.
Well, so far, every time one of these teams has had the ball, they've ended up in the end zone with it. Somebody's going to have to make the first stop of this football game. Philadelphia's hoping it's going to be this drive.
3rd and 10 for Tampa Bay. Stafford, Samuels, can't reel it in, intercepted by Coleman. There's the stop that Philadelphia needed. And Stafford picked off for only the 2nd time this season.
And a very rare mistake by Lawrence Samuels. The ball was delivered perfectly, hit him square in the hands, and it just bounced off his hands. Calvin Coleman in perfect position to deliver that ball, or to catch that interception. She's going to hit Samuels right in the hands. Coleman on the back hip makes the interception. And Shane Stafford complaining a little bit after the play. You know what happens to the quarterback when you throw that interception? Guys come in and look to hunt you up.
Well, it was Coleman who got into the back of Stafford and taunted him a little bit. But Coleman gets his first pick with the Philadelphia Soul. They get the much-needed stop.
I was cooking dinner and I just fell asleep. I collapsed. I couldn't call for help. But ADT did. They saved my life.
An ADT monitored fire detector actually signals ADT, so we can call for help. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. And save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT. Always there.
Do you have ingrown toenail?
Constipation.
Hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids.
Remove back hair.
That little itch.
Say no to BO.
Commercials. That's why we keep our heads out the window. Buddy, it's time to get serious.
Sirius Satellite Radio. Over 120 channels, including commercial-free music. Want radio your way? Ride with the big dog.
Oh, yeah.
Sirius Satellite Radio. Right now, get a Sirius plug-and-play receiver and docking kit for just $119 after rebate.
NBC Tonight. 25 million viewers have made The Contender television's most talked about new show. All new Contender, NBC Tonight, 8/7 Central.
Vijay Singh looks to reclaim the world #1 ranking from Tiger Woods. Can he knock him off his throne? The Bay Hill Invitational, next on NBC.
Philadelphia's Calvin Coleman acquired in a trade from New Orleans. Ron Jaworski made the trade on March the 4th, and Coleman gave Jaworski the ball after his first ever Philadelphia interception.
Just letting him know that he made a good decision in making the trade. You know, Calvin, a little bit of a salary cap casualty down in New Orleans. They've got some good guys down there, but Coleman wanted to be a D specialist. Ended up getting traded up here to be able to go ahead and play that position.
Handoff to Arp, who serves sometimes as the fullback. That's his second carry of the year, and that goes for nothing. Now you say, why are they giving the ball to a 285-pound guy? Well, the clock continues to move until there's 1 minute. Philadelphia has gotten a precious stop, and I would think part of the strategy for Philadelphia now is let's use some time as well as try to score.
Well, keep Tampa's offense off the field. Also, with the pass rush group that you have in Tampa, running the ball into the line of scrimmage will slow down that pass rush because they have to honor the run.
Smith in motion on a 2nd and 10. Graziani under some pressure throws it to the near sideline, incomplete. He just ran out of real estate along the wall. Crispina tried to reel it in.
Well, to throw the ball downfield, and especially to the outside, it's tough to come to that late because the guy's breaking towards the wall. See Graziani looking to the middle, looking to his right, and then coming back late and wasn't able to step into that ball. It's just hard because those walls come up so quickly. If you're going to make the throw to the outside, you have to make it one of your initial reads as a quarterback.
Now big 3rd and 10 coming up for Philadelphia. Graziani not calling as many of his own plays as he had when Mike Trigg was head coach.
But he likes that. He likes getting away from the play calling because he can concentrate just on executing.
Knight in motion. Deep post. Marcus Knight. Touchdown, Philadelphia. His 2nd touchdown grab of the ball game. The rookie out of Michigan. 31 yards, and Philadelphia has their first lead.
And a good ball over the top. You know, we talked about Graziani missing this week of practice. I asked him before the game, had he thrown when he was on the road? He said he hasn't picked up a football since that Wednesday practice. So a little bit of time off, resting the arm, and it doesn't look like he's skipped a beat. No rust on him at all. Delivers the pass right where it has to be for Marcus Knight.
Marcus Knight, who played for the Raiders in Super Bowl 37, was mentored by Tim Brown and Jerry Rice. He said Tim Brown told him this game is 10% physical. It's 90% mental.
That's right. Getting your assignments right and learning how to beat people. Mental toughness, being able to do what you have to do on the field is the most important part of the game for a receiver. Now, if you don't have the tools, then you're in trouble. But making sure that you get your assignment done, that's the biggest key for these guys.
Cedar on for the extra point. Milanese the holder. Milanese gets it down, and Cedar knocks it through. Well, Marcus Knight, not only did he work with Tim Brown and Jerry Rice, but he had the great Fred Biletnikoff as his receivers coach. And here's a young man who took tremendous pride in his experience with the Oakland Raiders and being around Al Davis, and he's carried that to the Philadelphia Soul.
Well, but being able to work on his game and with some of the greats that ever played the game. You know, you made the list. Tim Brown, Biletnikoff, all these guys that are just talented individuals that have the history in the game, and now you can absorb all of that. And if you can turn around and use it in your game, that means you're a true professional, because that's what it takes to excel and to compete.
2 years with the Oakland Raiders and 3 games with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, on that touchdown, away from the play, evidently Kelvin Kinney got mixed up with Dwayne Missouri of Philadelphia. To the right of your screen, Kinney wears number 1, and then he dives on top of Graziani.
Yeah, you see he tried to bend Graz over, and Missouri doing a good job of trying to protect his quarterback. Apparently Kelvin didn't like that, but ended up getting ejected from the game.
So Kelvin Kinney, the 6th-year pro out of Virginia State, has been ejected for Tampa. That's a big loss. Kickoff comes to Tolliver, very returnable. Nope, his back foot hit the wall. His back foot touched the wall, and that is a touchback.
Yeah.
And we saw that a couple weeks ago where they let that go.
That's right. When you hit the wall in the end zone, the wall is dead. Now, if there's a back line there and your momentum carries you out, you step over the line, you're still allowed to bring it back to make the game more exciting. But because there's walls in the back of the end zone, as soon as Tolliver touches that with his foot, dead ball.
His right foot touched. See, if there's the wall is receded back a little bit and there's a line there, you can
then
straddle
you can cross it. Exactly.
Yeah. Good call by the officials. Tampa has it, 1st and 10. Saunders corralled by Coleman, tackled after a gain of about 8.
Yeah, the rule to arena football when you think about the walls is anything inside the end zone, the wall is always dead. Anything in between the goal lines can be live at times as long as the ball has not hit the ground first.
2nd and short for the Tampa Bay Storm. Shane Stafford has thrown 4 touchdown passes. And he's been picked off for only the 2nd time this season. Solomon in motion. Solomon makes the catch. We get a whistle and a flag. And a false start called against the Tampa Bay Storm. That is the call by the officials.
Anytime they blow a play dead,
5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That means it's going to be on the offense.
Well, coming up next on NBC, it's final round coverage of the Bay Hill Invitational from Arnie's Place. Kenny Perry leads VJ Singh by 3 strokes. That's final round coverage of the Bay Hill Invitational. Coming up next on NBC, if VJ Singh wins and Tiger Woods finishes out of the top 2, VJ regains the number 1 spot in the world rankings. So some high drama at Bay Hill later today. Stafford finds Solomon, and he takes it up to the 17-yard line. Solomon with another catch.
Just the stop route, a good way to get back into rhythm for Shane Stafford, just throwing that quick stop. Right now, Stafford having thrown that interception, you know, I really give it to Lawrence Samuels because it came right off his hands. It wasn't Shane. He delivered a perfect ball.
Plus, you're a former quarterback.
Of course. You got to protect the QB.
1st and 10 for the Tampa Bay Storm. Solomon in motion. Stafford gets sacked for the 2nd time today. Dwayne Missouri, his 2nd sack of the season. And 10th sack allowed by Tampa this year.
As you pointed out earlier, not a lot of pressure by Philadelphia this year. They thought they had a great pass rush group, just a couple sacks coming into this game. They've gotten upfield now for 2 sacks in this game.
They've doubled their season sack total in this first half.
Well, James Fuller brings a little bit more of that emotion, and that's what you need to play that defensive line position. Emotional play, physical play, getting upfield.
2nd and 13 for the Tampa Bay Storm. Stafford completes it. Dell runs out of a tackle. Cliff Dell knocked down at the 17-yard line. It's a gain of 20 and a 1st down. If you're playing AFL fantasy football, keep track of that ticker below. Scores and stats updated each quarter.
Well, now Cliff Dell coming into this game, half of his receptions had been for touchdown passes. Had 28 receptions coming in. 14 of them went for 6 points. So Dell finding a way to get to the end zone, making people miss.
Dell played his college ball at South Florida, walked on at Florida State, played 3 years there before going to South Florida. First and 10. Solomon the motion man. Stafford had to get rid of it because there was pressure again. Missouri getting in there.
And right now, Tampa having a hard time protecting their quarterback.
And that takes us to the 1-minute warning. Philadelphia has gotten the only stop. Stafford, 4 touchdown passes. Philadelphia in front, 34-28. 1 minute to go in the half.
Pick it up, Stinky. Me? You got no stamina.
Only Odor Eaters has Zorbitex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact.
Get tough with foot odor. Get Odor Eaters ultra durable insoles.
You say you love poker, but you can't always get a game together?
Here's the answer. PokerStars.net.
Well, there's always a table open, day or night.
And every game and tournament is 100% free.
PokerStars keeps track of your statistics and lets you take notes.
Even put on your own personal game face.
And you can test your skills against some of the best poker players around.
Maybe even a world champion.
Or two.
PokerStars.net.
Where tomorrow's winners get their start today.
In this arena, the competition is fierce, but the rewards are great. A solo sport that starts at the break of day, and the action doesn't stop until the clock runs out. With no timeouts, no personal fouls, and no holds barred. Be a part of the action.
After the AFL on NBC, the Bay Hill Invitational presented by MasterCard. Coming up next, we take a look at the leaderboard. Kenny Perry and BJ Singh will tee off in a couple of minutes. Fred Couples now at 5 under par through 2 in his final round. Stafford to throw. Lobs it for Dell. Touchdown, Tampa Bay Storm. Cliff Dell's 15th touchdown catch of the season, and Stafford's thrown 5 today.
And Dell staying right on pace with 2 catches now, 1 for a touchdown, so still at that 50% mark. Just dropping back. Dell clearing across underneath in man coverage versus Eddie Moten. Able to break away and find that front pylon of the end zone. Well-delivered ball by Shane Stafford and a well-run route by Cliff Dell.
Georgia's extra point is good, and flags fly as Dell, the holder, took a beating.
Figure if you score a touchdown, you got to pay for it by taking a shot as a holder, right?
Well, you know, here's Tom McCabe.
Personal foul, number 95, running into the holder. That 10-yard penalty being forced after the kickoff.
Penalties on Dwayne, Missouri.
You know, you are so exposed when you're holding down there. They try to protect you. You're on a knee. Missouri clearly wasn't doing that intentionally. Kind of got shoved in.
And
but
you don't think he did that last roll to try to get a piece of Dell?
At the end, maybe, but you have to protect that guy. He is down. He's looking at the football. He's not looking at the rush.
And for those of you maybe not as familiar with the AFL, the reason why they don't use just a backup quarterback to hold is because on missed field goals, the ball is live, and you need another body out there who's fast and who can tackle somebody.
Are you saying quarterbacks aren't fast and can't tackle?
You said that. I just alluded to it. Don't forget, coming up at the half, it's the Subway AFL on NBC halftime report. Al Troutwig, Glenn Parker, news, scores, highlights, and your former teammate, Greg Hopkins, just a few minutes away on the Subway AFL on NBC halftime report.
Former teammate and roommate while we were back in Albany. Ironman of the Year back in 2002. Fine football player.
George with the onside kick. And it's recovered by Philadelphia.
Cyron Brown out there with the good hands on the end of the line of scrimmage. Tim Markham trying to capture a little bit of momentum. They had the one turnover early.
Brown spent half of last season with the Storm.
Cyron Brown just going up for the ball, looking like he was getting the rebound. Didn't he look like a big man inside? Yeah. But Markham, with 1 minute left, you kick the onside kick so that you can recover the ball. If you recover the ball, now you go in and score, take the whole minute. If you don't recover the ball, then you turn it over so that they can score real quick. You get the ball back. You score a touchdown going in to capture momentum. You get the last score of the first half.
James Fuller, the head coach of the Philadelphia. So now the reason why the ball was moved back to the 21-yard line, remember the penalty on Missouri on the extra point. They marked it off after the kickoff.
Go!
Which actually helps Philadelphia. It gives them more room. Knight in motion. Knight open. Knight makes the catch. Knight fighting. Knight dragged down by Anthony Derricks.
Not just more room, but it also burns a little more time off the clock, so it helps Philly there, too. I was talking about the reason you onside kick at the end. If you onside kick and they recover, you're planning on them scoring quickly. So Tampa has to burn a timeout to try to stop the clock here. The penalty on Missouri actually helped Philadelphia in this case.
Take a look at the quarterback comparison. Tony Graziani. Only 10 attempts, but 4 touchdown passes. Plus they have the kickoff return for a score.
Yeah, remember the big kickoff return. And Tampa Bay's offense has been on the field a lot today. So Graziani not able to really get into a rhythm here in the first half with only 10 attempts in 2 quarters.
It's also matching possessions now as to who gets the ball in the second half.
Right. Well, Markham told us yesterday that he didn't want the big score on him. Well, we've seen several big scores, long field scores for Philadelphia, which is exactly the opposite of what Markham was coaching his team to do during the week.
Ryan, the fullback. Let's see if they run it. They give it to Ryan. Bounces outside, and he goes in standing up. Chris Ryan's 3rd rushing touchdown. But did they score too quickly?
Yeah, 42 seconds left on the clock now. Markham is going to get the chance to put his offense on the field, control the clock, go down the field and try to score with no time left. It wouldn't be surprising to see Philadelphia go for the onside kick at the end of this as well, because now you have the same thinking. 42 seconds left. If Tampa gets the ball, they score quickly. If you recover the ball, now you milk the clock.
You can't tell the big guy to fall down at the 1.
You can't. And at times, teams will actually play what you call give-up defense down there. Let the team score so that you get the ball back and you go in for the touchdown.
Cedars' extra point is good. So with 42 seconds to go, Philadelphia back in front by 6, 41-35. Well, just a reminder, there's more high-flying AFL action headed your way this week. Check out the slate of Week 9 games airing on Fox Sports Net this upcoming week. On Friday on Fox Sports Net, good one. Colorado at Dallas. Saturday, New York at Columbus. Grand Rapids at Philadelphia, or Tampa Bay at Los Angeles. No AFL on NBC next weekend because we will bring you complete coverage of the Players' Championship from the TPC at Sawgrass. The 5th major on the schedule this year. And John Bon Jovi's Philadelphia Soul have the only stop today. And a 41-35 lead.
And an opportunity, if they can stop Tampa here, to go in and get a 2-touchdown break coming out, because remember, Philly had to kick off to start it.
How about John fixing his hair?
He always looks good.
He need not do that. Now, he's so intense, and boy, he's passionate about this team and running this team and winning. Bringing a championship to Philadelphia. Tolliver back deep. Cedars onside kick, recovered by Coleman. Was he across the 10?
He was not across the 10. He actually caught it at 9 yards, so Tampa's going to end up with the ball.
There is no instant replay. I tell you.
He jumped in the air, but he caught it at 9 yards across the line. That's a good call by the official. He was right on the spot.
James Fuller trying to argue his point. Looked like
legally touched by the kicking team before it went 10 yards.
I thought Coleman jumped, but he waited until he was across the 10 before he touched it.
Well, if the 10-yard line was an out-of-bounds mark, he would have been out of bounds with the catch. But you can see right here, he touches the ball at 9 yards before he crosses the line and lands across the 10-yard line. So a good attempt. Had he let that go a yard further, that would have been Philly ball, but he clearly caught it before he crossed that 10-yard mark.
Stafford. Tolliver. Knocked out at the 1.
I know you never want to give up on defense. You know, Moten making that tackle, young player. But at times it's smart to let them score because you now have 36 seconds left. That's about the right timing to get the ball back, work down the field, get in the end zone, and go in at half up by a touchdown.
With the ball to start the third.
With the ball to start the third. Now you get yourself a 2-touchdown margin, 2-score margin. That's a big gap.
But Moten is a rookie in this game. He does not understand some of the nuances of it.
Right.
He's just thinking, I got to tackle this guy.
Right.
Muhammad is the fullback for the Tampa Bay Storm. Muhammad takes it, and he's got a touchdown. Umar Muhammad with his second rushing touchdown of the season.
And only burned 3 seconds off the clock.
So it actually plays out nicely for Philadelphia.
Now, I would expect Tampa to go for a full-length kick, but it wouldn't shock me if they actually tried an onside kick one more time, trade possessions. Muhammad, as a football player, actually came in with Albany with the Firebirds when I was back there, and he's gotten the nickname Headache down here, but he used to give guys headaches every practice up in Albany. Guys did not want to go one-on-ones against him. Joe Jacobs and John Crick and a lot of the vets would line up, and they'd see it was Muhammad going one-on-ones, and they'd say, no, I got a hammy or I've got a shoulder. I'm going to step out, and they'd put one of the rookie guys up there to go head-to-head against him because every time he brings it.
Well, Shane Stafford likes having that weapon and enjoying a lot of success this year in the AFL.
Stafford just having a great season so far.
I like Hoosiers. It's just a classic, you know. I grew up a basketball fan. I would say I like listening to Jay-Z. I'm a big dessert guy. Ice cream, whipped cream, and throw some cheesecake in there, and birthday cake, it doesn't matter.
Well, he's had his cake, and he's eaten it too this year with only 2 interceptions on the season. A marvelous year. He had talked about he wanted to go to Connecticut so badly he turned down Division I basketball scholarships at smaller schools to go to Connecticut. George will kick it away. Smith fields it off the iron. Smith.
That's a safety. That's going to be a safety. Steve Smith brought that out of the end zone and ended up coming back into the end zone. The officials should rule that a safety.
Now they're ruling it a touchback.
That's a blown call. You see Tim Markham down there arguing for the safety. As soon as Smith crosses that goal line and then goes back in, that becomes a safety. If he stays in the end zone, it's a touchback.
They've ruled it a touchback.
And that's one they're going to review on film this week and realize they blew a call. See, Smith is dancing around with it. He's not trying to come out, but he knows the rule. You have to look like you're trying to advance it. He crosses right there and comes back in. That should be a safety.
To pick up Mike. Philadelphia has the ball with 33 seconds. Graziani, wide open Smith. Then he steps out of bounds with the 1-minute timing rules. Incomplete passes, first downs, and getting out of bounds stops the clock.
Yeah, it's standard timing rules once you get into the 1-minute mark for arena football, just like the big field. So now you can work the clock down. 28 seconds left. In 28 seconds, you can expect to see a minimum of 4 plays, up to 5 plays. You figure it's close to 6 seconds of play. They want to work it down and then get it in the end zone.
It has been quiet today. Sean Scott of Philadelphia. In fact, I don't think he has a catch yet. Milanese in motion. Graziani. Got Milanese. Can't get it. Had a step on Tolliver. And Graziani got waffled back at the line of scrimmage.
And a good changeup for Tampa. They're usually an off team. They want to stay back. But this time, Tolliver comes up and presses Milanese at the line of scrimmage. Cuts him off his route. He was looking to run the corner. Graziani got locked into him. He could have dropped the ball down to Sean Scott, but he felt the pressure coming. Instead, he just put it up and tried to give Milanese a chance.
All right, third down for Philadelphia and 1. Trying to manage this last 23 seconds. Score And they also get the ball to start the third. Milanese in motion. Check down Smith. First down, and he gets out of bounds at the 21.
Yeah, and just a quick hitch. You know you've got 3rd and 1. You know you've got the 1-minute timing rules. Look to the field, because what corners will do on the backside is, as a quarterback, as you play and look to the field, the backside guy will cheat. He'll follow your eyes. He'll get depth. You know you have that hitch all day long. It's like stealing. Throw it to the backside and complete it.
And obviously Graziani knows where everyone needs to be. He's going to look at Tim Markham. 102 wins as head coach of the Tampa Bay Storm. That's just in the regular season. Smith in motion. 1st and 10 for Philadelphia. Graziani for Smith. Too much on that one.
I think he was expecting Steve Smith to come out at a little bit higher angle than he did. I thought Smith actually did a good job of weaving the DB, Jonathan Ordway, covering into the boundary there. Got upfield and got a break to the field. You see him weave, set him up to the outside, and then he got across his face. With Ordway that high on top, it would be hard for Smith to work upfield. A little, again, miscommunication. This time Graziani misreading it a little bit.
Tampa Bay by 1. 15 seconds to go in the half. Smith in motion. Graziani has time. Trying to buy time with his legs. Now sidearms it for Smith and a touchdown. You won't confuse Graziani with Michael Vick, but he used his feet just enough to create time and throw the touchdown pass.
And took a big shot. Remember, Tampa is a man-to-man team. So as Graziani starts to scramble, it gives his receivers the opportunity to break free. And Graz, by no means the great athlete at quarterback, but great presence, ends up taking a huge shot from Lawrence Samuels and kind of went limp there at the end. But Steve Smith, working that post route, just turned upfield when he saw his quarterback in trouble and found a way to get open.
You know, Graziani's arm strength, while he was moving to his left, I mean, he put that ball right on the mark for Smith. Extra point by Cedar is good. And so Tony Graziani took a shot.
And these shots can be painful.
I'm going to take you right on the field and listen.
And you see him lying there limp. It actually hurts even more than it sounds like it hurts, because you get hit on the contact from the player, and then you hit that turf to come back.
And Lawrence Samuels, whose brother Chris is an outstanding offensive lineman with the Washington Redskins, one of the great two-way players in this game, and he leveled the hit. But Graziani delivered. So 8 seconds to go.
Now, 8 seconds left. You're going to kick the ball deep, but you're going to try to find a way to keep it away from Tolliver. Although, so far today, Philadelphia's doing a good job of bottling him up. If you can kick it low, hit it off the back wall, you get the touchback. Find a way to get a touchback, either there or through the soft net. But find a way to keep it out of the return guy's hands. Make their offense score on you. Cedar, being new to the league, though, doesn't have all the positional kicks so far. He hasn't had to try these out, so he's getting a bit of a baptism by fire here.
And that clock doesn't start until the ball comes into play on the return. Cedar, end over and kick. This is very returnable. Tolliver. T.T. Tolliver. And run into the wall by Cedar. Well, Cedar made a mistake with the kick, but he saved the touchdown.
Yeah, but he allowed Tampa to return the ball to the Philadelphia 21. You can't do that. You need to get that ball away from Tolliver, or at least hit it off the net at the very least, because it doesn't allow your return team or your coverage team time to set up their coverage. And Tolliver took full advantage of it. Cedar actually getting to use his shoulder pads on this one.
What you really need is Greg Hopkins' teammate Remy Hamilton or Clay Rush of Colorado to kick it over the net.
Kick it over the net, kick it through the gap beneath the field goal, the crossbar on the field goal. I mean, anywhere that Tolliver doesn't get to handle it.
All right, Matt George will try a 36-yard field goal. He's 6 of 14 on the season. His long 31.
And he was in this situation last week versus Arizona and actually missed the kick right before halftime, but hit the kick at the end of the game to win it.
Now, if he misses this kick, it's a live ball for Philadelphia. 36-yarder, Dell to hold. George gets into it, and it gets blocked. And that is how the first half ends. A 36-yard field goal block. Matt George couldn't get it away. Chris Ryan was there. Philadelphia getting some pressure on the quarterback, and they have the lead at the half, 48-42.
Both Chris Ryan, if he didn't get it, Winfield Garnett was right there to get it as well. So a great effort play by the Philadelphia Soul, and Ryan absolutely blew Certain up on that outside.
Philadelphia in front by 6 at the break, 48-42 in a game the Philadelphia Soul need desperately. Coming up after these messages, the Subway AFL on NBC halftime report. You're watching the AFL on NBC.
NBC Tonight begins with the show 25 million viewers and critics are raving about. The Contender. Then on Law & Order Criminal Intent, a madman playing Frankenstein.
He wanted her brain dead with her heart still beating.
The gift that just keeps giving.
And on Crossing Jordan, when a cop killer's out for blood, help will come from an unlikely source.
Dad.
The Contender, Law & Order Criminal Intent, and Crossing Jordan. All new NBC Tonight.
So, we need broadband. Do we go for Optimum Online?
I'm thinking Verizon Business DSL.
I've heard Optimum is fast.
So is Verizon.
Let's talk price.
Price? Verizon starts low and stays low. Doesn't jump up like Optimum Online.
Verizon Business DSL, the best value in broadband. Call 1-888-350-1DSL to sign up now.
So now I'm thinking Verizon.
I'm thinking my name should be first on the door.
His name's Cole. He was 13 days late. And there was literally a point where I thought I was, going to be pregnant forever. Where you spend your whole life putting yourself first, and then just like that, you're second. And you're just so thankful. That's why I bought a Saturn.
The 5-star crash safety rated 2005 Saturn Vue. Get a new 2005 Saturn Vue front-wheel drive 4 with Sport Plus package for $199 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details.
Call now to get home delivery of the New York Times.
It's really convenient.
You can just go out the door in your pajamas.
I don't have to get dressed. It's in the hallway.
Get home delivery of the New York Times at 50% off. Call 1-800-708-7755 today.
It tells me in depth what I want to know.
International.
The sports.
Arts and leisure.
And it's just a useful tool for living in the world, living in the city.
I carry it with me everywhere. Make your day richer with the New York Times. Get home delivery at 50% off for 12 weeks, starting at $2.40 for weekends.
It's a joy to read the New York Times.
Sort of the how to, when to, where to.
I started reading the New York Times when I was 7 years old. It's part of my family tradition. Everything's very well written.
It's concise, evocative.
And intelligent.
It makes me feel like I'm in the know.
Get home delivery at 50% off, starting at $2.40 for weekends.
As a New Yorker, you need to have the New York Times.
It's part of my life.
It helps keep me inspired.
It's the paper of the city. Get connected to your world. Call 1-800-708-7755 to start home delivery of the Times at 50% off.
There's the Times and there's everything else.
Put on your dancing shoes. March Madness is here tonight on Mike Up. Welcome inside the Subway AFL on NBC Studio. Subway, eat fresh. Here's Al Troutwig.
No problem with the offense for Tampa Bay or Philadelphia. Welcome to our studio, Al Troutwig, along with Glenn Parker and Greg Hopkins, who plays on both sides of the ball for the LA Avengers. We asked the question here, how is it possible that two teams who've never faced each other, Chicago and New Orleans, have bad blood? Greg?
I think we have the answer, but let's see how it unfolds here.
Well, you know what? This game took off right in the pregame, these two teams getting a big fight, and that's where it all started. Right in the pregame, two teams come out, they're battling. Now, you look at the score, very tight at half. We like that, but let's once again reference, these two teams not out on the field yet, and they are brawling each other. Teams are taking shots. McMillan here, in a separate fight, one that happens later, takes a shot to the eye, whips off his helmet, hits the official. You see he's got an eye problem. This happened on a PAT. Well, the subsequent PAT later, we see another fight happening. This escalates from a regional action into a full-scale, all-field, everybody fighting. But the fact that's lost is some really good football being played out there. Andy Kelly, Raymond Filliot doing very good for their teams.
Actually, there have been 3 fights in the game.
Yes.
That's more than the number of incompletions that Andy Kelly has had. Now, this year in the AFL, we've brought it up. You win your division, you make the playoffs. Sounds simple, but that's not the way it's been in the past. Could that be why these two teams, who both have aspirations of finishing in first place are battling the way they are.
The heated rivalry that you saw already, I think, is what's fueled this fire.
Yeah, you're looking at New Orleans has to win to keep pace in their division, as does Chicago in their own division. So while this isn't an interdivision rivalry, it's two teams that have to stay on pace to get in the playoffs, and so the passion's coming out.
All right, meanwhile, the Philadelphia Soul have taken a major hit to the solar plexus. They're trying not to lose for a 5th straight game. The head coach has been fired. They've got the lead. I thought it was big, Greg, that they got a message early on in this game that they could get their mojo back and stay with Tampa Bay.
They had to get a spark early, and here's Steve Smith taking the kickoff up the middle to get them going, really put them on track.
And then you've got Tony Graziani's confidence has taken a hit. He's been sacked. He's been throwing interceptions.
And Graziani's taken a beating all year long. Up to this week in the season, he's been the majority of his time on his back, throwing balls from his back. And here, scoring quickly, keeping the offensive team out to a minimum out on the field has really helped their chances.
And, of course, Graziani used to be throwing balls to Greg Hopkins. So what other things did you see in this game?
Graz done a good job. He stood back there, and he's taken some licks, but he's been patient. He's read the defense as well, and he's played some good balls, and the receivers have made some great catches for him.
Okay, we're not done with you yet. When we come back, we'll spend some more time with Greg Hopkins and find out what he's up to both on and off the field. You're watching the Subway AFL on NBC Studio.
Ready for a more exciting fantasy football experience? AFL Fantasy Football is back and better than ever. Log on to AFLFantasy.com for a chance to win weekly and season-long cash prizes. More yards. More scoring. More excitement. AFL Fantasy Football, powered by Sandbox. Sign up and get in on the action.
This summer, you can do it yourself, or you can go pro. For the first time ever, the pros of action sports go on tour. 5 cities, 5 events. Who will be champions? The new Action Sports Tour, the pro tour of action sports, coming June to NBC.
If I get my chops busted on anything at all in the locker room, it's the fact that I do modeling, yeah.
All right, choose. Tough guy or a model? What are you going to be?
I'm going with the tough guy today.
No, you look the part, really.
Yeah. When they first asked you to take your shirt off and pose like that, did you have second thoughts because you are, after all, a football player, too?
Yes. And at the time, I could see where it was going right to the billboard in the locker room.
And it did go there.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me the transition. You come from a small town, 88 people in Nineveh, PA. Now you're in L.A., and you're doing modeling.
It's a culture shock. There's more people in my apartment complex in L.A. than there are in my whole hometown, yeah.
Now, Greg, you are the specialized player in the AFL and not a specialist in terms of offense or defense. You're both. You're a two-way player. So you play offense where you can catch the ball, but you play defense also. And you are the...
Jack linebacker.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
The Mac linebacker is the Mac fullback on offense, Mac linebacker on defense, where he blitzes the quarterback and is applying the pass rush. I'm the Jack linebacker and play the Jack, or sometimes referred to as the Jill or the chill linebacker.
So you chill, but it's, as we're going to see in this tape coming up, you're also waiting for an opportunity to come. You're waiting for a quarterback to make a mistake.
When the quarterback on this play, it was a cover 2 defense where you got 2 safeties deep. The other safety is playing short to the front side of the field. And that play, Mark Grebe threw to the backside, which is his chuck down safety valve, so to speak. And if I can sneak up behind those linemen and kind of hide in there in between the linemen, he doesn't see me, and he tries to get it over my head, and I can get a tip on the ball or interception.
So you've got to learn to play the angles. That's kind of how you've changed that position. Okay, talk to me a little bit about this, though. You're an offensive guy who's playing some defense. What do you like better? You've made some touchdown catches, a whole bunch in your career.
Yeah.
You've made some of these big interceptions like the one we just saw. Which one do you like better?
There's no bigger momentum swing in the Arena Football League when you can pick a pass off and run it back for a touchdown. So.
Can your team finish strong?
We can. We've got some rough edges to smooth out, but we're on our way. We'll get there.
All right, let's check out this week's poll. First, we're going to go to the players. Who's the hardest-hitting defensive back in the AFL? Players said Kevin Gaines, then Damon Mason. Thoughts?
Orlando Predators, Damon Mason. I've looked out of my ear hole a couple of times playing against that guy.
I don't want to look out of my ear hole. Anybody.
You do not want to be looking out of your ear hole. Let's go to the fan vote, and let's see if the Philadelphia Nation has... No one! We've got a Voodoo Nation rising. They think it's their own Chris Pointer and Damon Mason. So I'm going to think on the player and the fan combination, Damon Mason.
And Rashawn Floyd made that list as well. So
they can really smack you. Now, our question on April 3rd, we're not on next week because of the Players' Championship. Who's the quickest player in the AFL? Log on to arenafootball.com to cast your vote. And a quick reminder, win a trip to Arena Bowl 19 in Las Vegas and be named the AFL Fan of the Year. Just go to arenafootball.com and enter the fan code for today's game, N162. That'll do it for the Subway AFL and NBC studio. We'll get you back to the second half of your game right after this.
Thanks for joining the Subway AFL on NBC Studio. Experience the new great taste of a fresh toasted sub today. Subway, eat fresh.
Bob Papa, Mike Pulaski, by Sikahema back in Philadelphia. Philadelphia with a 48-42 lead. Matt George will kick off for the Tampa Bay Storm. Tampa gives up only 49 points a game this season. They've given up 48 in the first half. Steve Smith on the return. He's taken one back for a score, but he gets gobbled up by David Saunders right there. So Philadelphia gets the only stop in the first half of play, Mike, and they played the end of the half correctly. Now they have the ball and a chance to go up 2 possessions.
Yeah, the game is such a big game of possessions. Getting those onside kicks right, getting the timing right. They did a good job of holding on to that ball in the first half. Now they go up by 2 touchdowns. Now Tampa has to chase the whole game.
And what about Tampa defensively, giving up 48 points in the first half?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. This Philadelphia offense has been striking from long distance, and that's exactly what Markham was trying to avoid today.
Philadelphia 2-0 when leading at the half. Graziani bounces one behind Knight, and that's incomplete.
Well, feeling a little bit of that pressure at his feet. Omar Muhammad in there to hit him, but Graz has to be able to set his feet or at least drop back. It's just a quick hitch, 5 yards downfield, deliver that strike.
James Fuller, the head coach of the Philadelphia Soul after the firing of Michael Trigg a couple of years ago. James played with the San Diego Chargers, the New Orleans Saints, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Also a head coach in AF2 in Bakersfield. 2nd and 10. Graziani. Smith slipped. And the pass goes incomplete. Ordway on the coverage.
And Smith just not able to keep his feet. He was trying to run the quick corner to the outside. Again, part of those timing issues. See Steve Smith on the outside just trying to cut, and a little bit too much weight back on his heels. Receivers have to stay over their toes when they're running their routes. He got back on his heels, so his feet came out from underneath him.
You know, Sean Scott, who came into the game with 43 catches, the leading receiver, is yet to get involved for Philadelphia. Smith in motion. Big 3rd down. Smith can't reel it in. Ordway on the coverage.
Right back to the same exact play. You know, it's at this point to try to kick the ball would be tough with the kicker who is new to this league. You might go for it on 4th down.
Remember, there's no punting in arena football, so you either have to go for it on 4th down or you try a kick. This is the first 4th down in the ball game for either team.
And talk about not having confidence in your kicker. You don't even know your kicker yet. I bet at times he still forgets his first name.
Knight in motion. Graziani. Miscommunication with Smith. Smith stopped. Graziani through the go route. So all that work at the end of the first half to have a 1-possession lead going into the second half and having the ball to start the second half to go up 2 possessions goes out the window.
Tampa takes it right back on defense.
So Tampa gets their first stop. Now Philadelphia has to get back on their defense.
The AFL on NBC, returning in 2 weeks.
The Netscape internet service lets me choose if I want their unlimited access for just $9.95.
So does NetZero.
And Netscape lets me choose if I want to add email virus scan or Web Accelerator for faster web surfing and email virus scan.
Or, what do you get with those guys?
You just switch to Netscape.
Netscape Internet Service. Get online for $9.95 a month. Add Web Accelerator for faster web surfing. And if you sign up now, get a 1-month free trial. Netscape. Call or log on today.
Get lost. Yeah, go away.
Your dad got your favorite.
He looks hungry.
The new hot, fresh toasted subs are here. Like the Chicken Bacon Ranch. Toasted hot inside and out. Subway. Eat fresh.
So that's the last slide, right?
Right. So I'm hitting send?
Yeah. Wait. Who's presenting in Chicago?
McLean.
McLean?
Yeah, he can do it. Right?
We know why you're flying. We're American Airlines. Now get lower fares with no Saturday night stay required. Visit AA.com for details.
Well, 48-42, the Soul over the Storm, but they just squandered a chance. The Philadelphia Soul called hitches versus straight man press. Nobody was open. Graziani had to get rid of the ball. Versus man in a press team, you should run crossing routes so that guys have an opportunity to run away.
And the Storm run it with Muhammad. And he's got a touchdown. They say he broke the plane for the touchdown. So forget the mad scramble. Omar Muhammad with a touchdown run. So Philadelphia gets stopped on their first possession, and Tampa capitalizes right away.
And this is really second effort on the part of Muhammad. You see him getting stopped up in the front, spins off, gets Chris Ryan, who puts his head down, and because of it can't wrap up. Muhammad once again spinning off, getting into the end zone. And you think about the goal line, think about it like a lake or a bowl of water. As if that football dips into it, that's a touchdown. That's all you have to do is break that plane.
Extra point by George is good. And right away, Tampa regains the lead. Omar Muhammad with the touchdown run.
We talked about him being a headache. Well, he's a headache on offense as well. Just keeps spinning off, keeps driving those legs, and finds a way to get into the end zone.
And Tampa has the lead again. The AFL on NBC is brought to you by Subway. It's always been fresh. Now it can be toasted. Experience the new great taste of a fresh toasted sub today. Subway, eat fresh. By American Airlines. We know why you fly. We're American Airlines. And by Netscape, low-cost internet service. Netscape, just the net you need. Omar Muhammad, a couple touchdown runs for the Tampa Bay Storm, and they now have a 49-48 lead.
And that stop plays directly into Tim Markham's hands with that defense. He's a defensive team that turns it up in the second half. Absolutely dismantled Grand Rapids in the last half, the second half 2 weeks ago. This team as a defensive team knows how to turn it up.
Matt George to kick off for the Storm. Smith has returned one for a score. Gets the slack netting and through for a touchback. A lack of intensity by Philadelphia when they came out on that first possession. The fan gets to keep that football. Any fan that catches a ball that goes into the stands gets to keep the souvenir. Compliments of the AFL. But there seemed to be no urgency in that first possession.
I would agree, and it showed with Graziani missing that first hitch and then Steve Smith slipping on that second down. They came back with the same play and still couldn't connect with a bad ball. That's a problem. You have to be focused when you come out of the locker room.
Crispina in motion. Smith the catch. Flag on the play. Picks up 8.
Graziani looking like he settled in, working that backside hitch.
Illegal defense, number 35. Check linebacker out of the box. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Omar Muhammad called for the penalty. Don't forget Bay Hill Invitational presented by MasterCard. Coming up after the AFL on NBC final round coverage. Check the leaderboard. VJ Singh 2 shots off the pace. Freddie Couples having a great final round. He's only 3 off the pace. If VJ wins and Tiger does not finish in the top 2, VJ Singh regains the #1 ranking in the world. You'll see it here on NBC. Crispina open and he can't reel it in.
Just dropped that pass. The ball again right in the hands. That's a couple times now that we've seen that today, both for Tampa and for Philly. Keita ran a nice post route, got himself open against Tremaine Jones, and a well-delivered ball. Just can't bring it in. Hit him right on the fingertips. You couldn't ask for a better spot for that football.
Graziani 0 for 5 here in the second half, but can't put the ball in a better spot than that. Second down for Philadelphia.
Go.
Scott in motion for the Soul. Graziani has Smith. Ordway runs him into the wall, picks up 8.
And a good showing of composure by Graziani. Had pressure around him, guys grabbing him, just stepped up in the pocket. Had to wait for Steve Smith to clear that Jack linebacker box. Again, Jack has to stay home. He's a receiver linebacker. He can't blitz and he can't get out of the box. So he had to wait for him to clear Jack. Once he did that, just dropped it off. See Graz stepping up in the pocket. Guys reaching for him. Just drops it nicely over the top. Good composure in the pocket.
3rd and 2. Philadelphia's already been stopped once in this half. Smith in motion. Flag on the play. Breaking free. Crispina. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Well, the flag is going to be second neutral zone infraction against Umar Muhammad. So that's going to go for a touchdown. And a very nice ball on a go route, stationary go route on the outside.
Crispina's second touchdown catch of the season.
Touchdown.
Played his college ball at Temple. And Crispina gets a score.
And you see Omar Muhammad playing that Mac linebacker position. He has to be back of a defensive lineman's backside before he can rush before the snap. He can't be in that zone because that's the second neutral zone. He encroached in it. It's basically like an offsides penalty, but declined, all for naught. Philadelphia gets the touchdown.
Cedar for the extra point. And he puts it through. So Cedar's been strong after missing his first extra point. He has not missed since. Crispina's touchdown catch puts Philadelphia back on top.
Hey, watch this.
Hey, buddy, you want some of this? You like banana? Oh, good. Yeah. Here, take it seriously. No.
Give me that.
Fresh, smooth, real, Bud Light.
Give me that. Come on,
It's all here.
When preparing for your financial future, you need a partner who... Because the right financial partner makes all the difference.
Bon Jovi. Hellway. What you doing in Vegas, little buddy?
We're going to be here for the Arena Bowl this June.
You're dreaming.
Am I? Why don't we settle this thing right now?
Go for it.
This June, the AFL Championship game, Arena Bowl 19, is playing Vegas. For tickets, call 1-866-AFL-TICKS today.
Tonight, 25 million viewers have discovered the contender. And tonight...
3 guys have been eliminated. I'd like you all to vote on bringing one in the back.
And be there for a loving tribute to a fallen contender. All new, NBC Tonight, 8/7 Central.
Tony Graziani throws another touchdown pass. Philadelphia in front of Tampa Bay. 55-49. Anthony Derrick's back deep to receive the kickoff. Tim Cedar. Derrick steals it cleanly. Looking for a seam. Gobbled up the 20-yard line. 24-yard return. This town is starved for a championship in football. The Eagles have won 4 consecutive divisions, NFC champions. They're preparing for yet another season and another run. Vi Sekahima is standing by with one of the key people of the Philadelphia staff.
Hey guys, John Harbaugh is one of the premier special teams coaches in the entire NFL. He's the special teams guy, obviously, for the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys have had great success. But this is your first time at this game. The Harbaugh name is synonymous with football. Your father, Jack, coach at Western Kentucky, Western Michigan, coach with Bo Schembechler at Michigan. Your brother, Jim, of course, played in the NFL. But this is your first time to see this game. What do you think?
We're having a blast. It's a great family time. I got my wife and my daughter here, Ingrid and Allison. And I'll tell you, it's so exciting. First time we've ever done it, but the action is up and down. It's really a fun game to watch.
A lot of scoring, and the return game is not too bad either, huh?
A lot of special teams, you know. I mean, I just learned kicking into that net is really important for the kickoff guy. And my man Sean Scott out here is making a lot of plays. You know, he was with us for a couple years in camp.
Absolutely. What do you think of Steve Smith? How exciting is he returning the football?
I'm going to tell you what, I'm not so sure he can't find some players in this league. He's a quick little guy. You know, he can really get after it. He had the touchdown earlier, so he's making some plays, man.
Interesting that they don't have any punting because they were backed up here, 4th down, and they had to go for it. What do you think of that?
I was wondering, maybe a field goal, would that be about a 70-yarder? I don't know. I think you have no choice.
John Harbaugh, one of the great coaches in special teams of the NFL. Thank you very much, John. Good luck to you guys this year. Back to you guys, Bob and Mike.
All right, John Harbaugh and the Philadelphia Eagles, they lost one of their key special teams players via free agency, a Pro Bowler, Ike Reese. As we get
illegal formation on the defense, number 73, not in a three-point stance. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Donovan Arp called for the penalty.
And when he says not in a three-point stance, defensive linemen have to have their hand on the ground. There's no stemming and moving. Your hand has to be on the ground at the line of scrimmage on the snap, and that's what he got called for. It's a procedural penalty.
So 1st and 10 for the Tampa Bay Storm. Each team has recorded one stop. I don't know if you want to call that last-second one-play field goal attempt by Tampa at the end of the half an official stop.
No.
We've had one defensive stop each way.
Right, one interception, big defensive stop. And that's going to be the difference in this second half now, because you're just trading touchdowns back and forth. Another stop will tip that scale.
1st and 10 for the Storm. Solomon in motion. Solomon, and it's intercepted by Moton. Out of bounds in the end zone for a touchback. Shane Stafford, who came into the game throwing only one interception, has been picked off twice today.
Well, when you see this formation for Tampa, you know exactly what play is coming. So the trick is going to have a corner and a flat. The trick is going to be reacting to it in time to get there before Stafford can deliver the ball. This time, Moton, a rookie in this league, doing a great job of reacting up and getting that pick.
Eddie Moton's first career AFL interception. And Philadelphia gets their second stop. Now they must capitalize on offense.
Start the day with a splash. Bring on the blue. Moving to the horizon. Bring on the blue. Now you're flying again.
That aqua velvet face, so firm, so fit. That manly scent.
Bring on the blue. Comes that cool blast your feelings. Bring on the blue. As it touches your skin.
It just feels better with an aqua velva man.
Thank you for calling ADT Security Services.
I just wanted you to know that security system saved me twice.
You all have given me peace of mind.
I tell everybody I see, get an ADT security system.
Like these customers and millions more, you'll feel more secure with ADT in your home. ADT helps protect your family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. And you may save up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. ADT, always there.
We are going to play basketball. How would you like to be our cheerleader?
I'll do it.
Oh, yuck. All right. Cool. Very good.
The Office, a new comedy, premieres NBC Thursday.
Philadelphia with the football and the lead against the Tampa Bay Storm. It's week 8 of the AFL on NBC. Tony Graziani on a 1st and 10. And the pass nearly intercepted by Derricks, intended for Marcus Knight.
And Tony not exactly sure when Knight was going to make that break. Here's a look again from the backfield, just a little bit behind Knight. He wasn't sure when the break was going to come across, and Derricks almost ended up as a beneficiary of that. Good job of Knight just getting that arm back there to break it up.
Derricks played with Indiana last year. 2nd down. Pass incomplete, and there's a flag on the play as well. Illegal defense, I believe, against Tampa Bay.
Illegal defense, number 34 out of the box. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Good eye, Bob. Well, you talked about Derricks playing with Indiana last year. He's also been in Chicago. He's been in Toronto. He was up in Connecticut with the New England Seawolves. So he's been all over the place. He's kind of, it seems, a curse for a team, because a lot of those teams, he wasn't traded or cut. The team folded while he was there, so he moved on to the next spot. So you have to be a little bit worried if you're playing with Anthony Derricks about where the team's going to go. But now with Tampa, this team isn't going anywhere.
1st down for Philadelphia. Graziani looking for Scott. He got tangled up with Tremaine Jones. There's another flag on the play. And we'll await the call.
Illegal contact on the defense, number 5. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They haven't looked for Sean Scott much today, but this time they went to him.
Yeah, looking for him here in the second half. You get him manned up with Tremaine Jones. Just a quick hitch and go, and you see Jones come up. He knows he's going to get beat. So what you do as a DB is you cut the receiver off in his route. You'll take the penalty. Don't give up the touchdown. Jones has done a good job at that defensive specialist this year. Moved into the spot in the 4th game of the season last year and has held it since.
Knight, the motion man. They work the screen to the fullback, Conrad Dean. Dean with his first catch, the rookie out of Akron. Looks like a 330-pound guy getting his hands on the pigskin.
And that is a really good time for that play call. Dean just playing that tight end position. Tampa wanting to turn it up by bringing the rush, the pass rush. How do you slow that down? You throw a screen, get your tight end out in the route. Really good job. You're going to put that thought back in the defensive line for Tampa.
Graziani, 12 completions, 6 have been for touchdowns.
That's quite a quarterback rating.
1st and 10. Has some time. Sean Scott. Derricks makes the tackle at the 12. Gain of 9 and a late flag on the play as well.
Well, Graziani had a lot of time back there, and the reason for it is because you had a
72. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Conrad Dean.
Because you had a hold back there. Well, without Calvin Kinney, remember, he got kicked out in the first half. This Storm defensive rush suffers because Kinney is a man to handle up there. Right now, Storm doing a good job of getting upfield, but they're not as potent as they should be.
And if you're maybe not as familiar with the AFL game, you're wondering, tight end. We saw Conrad Dean make a catch before. Is he the tight end? Well, when the 3 linemen come to the line, one will raise his hand to signify that he is the tight end on the play. Sean Scott's lone reception negated. Another flag on the play. Graziani hoists it deep, looking for Scott, incomplete.
And Scott should have had that for a touchdown. When he looked back, he stopped his feet. He slowed down. He needed to keep going downfield.
Illegal formation on the defense, number 74, shading. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, here's a look at Sean Scott. He's playing the receiver up at the top. He's right here. He has to run. Watch him as he looks back for the ball. He gets downfield, gets on the shoulder, and then right here he starts to slow his feet down. That ball is actually perfectly thrown, but because he's slowed down, he doesn't get the catch for a touchdown. Little things like that are the difference between winning and losing games.
We should mention shading. The nose guard was not lined up head-on with the center. First down. Graziani Graziani throws it away. Can do that. Got out of the box. Took a lick.
And that's the problem with a left-hander running to his right. You have to turn your shoulders to get that around. Again, this game doesn't just look mean, it also sounds mean. You can hear that turf rubbing up against the mic. That hurts. Every time you hit that stuff, you stick to it, and then you get another body landing on top of you. It's a tough game for quarterbacks.
Take a lot of shots. Knight in motion. Graziani got Knight. Touchdown! Marcus Knight. His third of the ball game. 27 yards for the score.
And Tony Graziani takes a big shot, comes back and delivers a strike. That's what you're looking for out of a marquee quarterback. If you can't take a shot in this league, you can't play in this league as a quarterback. Remember, he just got bounced off a turf the play before. He steps right back in the pocket and delivers the ball to Marcus Knight on a rope. Perfect pass.
And whether it's the indoor game or the outdoor game, former players will always tell you your quarterback has to be one of the toughest guys on your team because they're going to take hits and they've got to be able to bounce back.
You're going to take hits, but hits that you're not ready for. Everybody else is hitting and they know it. Quarterbacks never see it coming.
Marcus Knight with 3 touchdown catches. Philadelphia leading it by 13.
A great matchup. Pitcher Mussina, hitter Ramirez. Mussina deals. Check swing by Ramirez, but he'll get another one. Whoa, up and in. Ramirez clearly looking for a pitch.
If you can read it, you can rip it. The Hitter's Eye, only in MVP Baseball 2005. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. To the game.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Cindy. Hi. Hi, I'm Jan. I'm Marsha. I'm Rachel. Hi, I'm Monica. I'm Phoebe.
Hi, Phoebe.
I'm Carrie. I'm Charlotte. Miranda. I'm Samantha. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Zena.
Zena?
Yes, Zena. I'm Lucy. This is my friend Ethel. Hi, my name's Louise. Call me Weezy. Hi, I'm Ginger.
Ginger. I'm Cliff, and this is my buddy Norm. Hey.
Hey, life on the street stinks.
We need odor protection.
Only Odor Eaters has Sorbitex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact.
Don't just fight foot odor and wetness.
Whack it with Odor Eaters Ultra Comfort insoles.
Philadelphia by 13 in the third. We take a look at some Odor Eaters insoles. Fancy footwork. Steve Smith of the Philadelphia Soul. Watch the footwork here on Jonathan Ordway. Gone. Touchdown.
And that's about as shaky as it gets. Everybody was going inside with Steve Smith. Remember, Jonathan Ordway, one of the fastest DBs in this league, runs a legitimate 4.3. Steve Smith just beat him right off the move.
And that's what we call the Odor Eaters insoles fancy footwork. Steve Smith with a kickoff return for a touchdown as well. And how about Tim Cedar? He missed his first ever AFL extra point. He's been perfect since. Anthony Derrick's back deep for the Tampa Bay Storm. Derrick's with some room. Cedar makes the tackle. Welcome to the AFL, Tim Cedar.
Well, you knew this was going to happen because Tim Markham, as we said before, not the biggest fan of kickers to begin with, but if you've got a guy who's new to the league, you're going to try to go after him, try to attack him, and just barely got the tackle. Now that's his third tackle on the game.
Tim Cedar. Remember, Remy Hamilton became the first AFL kicker ever to win an Ironman of the game earlier this year in the 19-year league history.
Well, as good a kicker as Remy Hamilton is, and he is a really good kicker, Ironman has to go both ways. I mean, that is one of the strengths of the spot.
Tony Graziani lighting it up today. Vaisekahem is with the Philadelphia quarterback.
I got Tony Graziani here. I know how you're doing. You're doing well physically, but emotionally, how you doing? Your uncle passed away this week, and you spent 3 days. Just got in 1 o'clock this morning, you told me?
Yeah, from Seattle. You know, my
thoughts are there, obviously. It's been a tough week, but, you know, family comes first. That's why I had to go back, and, you know, we got things handled back there. Now we got to win this game.
With each pass, you come back and you sit down here, you look completely spent.
It's
Are
tough.
you okay?
Yeah, you know, it's a very emotional week. Took a lot out of me.
Okay, Tony Graziani trying to hold it all together and doing a good job. Back to you guys.
His uncle, Eric Birkland, killed in Seattle while riding a motorcycle. An accident. The traffic going the other way, and he was killed. Tony went back for the funeral. Now Stafford finds Dell for the touchdown. Tampa Bay answers, 23 yards on the score.
Well, here's a look at how this play develops. Again, one of Tampa's 5 or 6 plays that they run, it's just a crosser underneath. You're going to see these guys both cross. When they do, they end up picking defenders off. And you get a free road to the end zone, and Dell again back in the end zone.
And Milanese not able to work his way through that. And Dell just turned on the Jets. George for the extra point. And he's perfect down the middle. So with 1:14 to go in the third, Tampa gets a quick score. Cliff Dell, look at his percentage of touchdowns to receptions on the season. Time for an arena look-in with Al Troutwig.
Hey, Bob. New Orleans and Chicago, and New Orleans has totally lost it in the second half. Watch what happened to them in about 30 seconds.
Absolute high. Great stop. You've done what you had to do. Momentum swing. You've got the ball.
But Greg Hopkins, they switched it up.
Biggest momentum swing in arena football and safety. Right here it is.
Boy, you go talk about from the top of the mountain to Death Valley.
So New Orleans trailing Chicago 37-33 in the fourth, just like you are, Bob.
All right, Alan. Chicago got a scare last week against Grand Rapids, and they were able to get the win late. And you know, you take a look at that Southern Division and how competitive it's been all season long. Georgia winning their ball game. New Orleans at 5-2. Tampa in desperate need of a win to keep pace. Orlando losing last night to Georgia. Austin getting a win. Top to bottom, that's been the best division week in and week out.
Oh, without a doubt. You don't want to go down and play these teams from the South because they're all very physical teams. When Greg Hopkins said the biggest momentum swing in arena football, think about it. The safety, you give up 2 points, and then you got to kick the ball back off, so it's a turnover as well. It just doesn't get any bigger than that in this league.
Steve Smith back deep for Philadelphia. He is a weapon every time the ball is in his hands. Not this time, as he's knocked down at the 11-yard line.
An Iron Man, Cliff Dell, goes down, catches the touchdown pass, comes down, makes a tackle on special teams. That's what this game is about. Guys playing both sides of the ball in special teams, giving it everything. After the game, these guys end up so spent from using so much energy during the game, running around the field, making tackles. It's a good feeling, you know, back to the old days of football.
You see a lot of guys that played their college career and on offense and getting a chance to go to defense and enjoying it. Graziani, 7 touchdowns with his 13 completions. Milanese tackled at the 20-yard line, picks up 9. Well, Tony Graziani has taken a lot of hits in this ball game, but he's managed to deliver.
And this is just last series. He's taken shots coming out of his end zone. Again, stepping into it, throwing the football, taking shots in the legs. Of course, this one where he bounced off the turf, but then he comes right back and fires a touchdown pass. Graz, as in L.A., he took some merciless shots. He can handle them now as well.
And that'll be the end of the third quarter. Philadelphia in front, 62-56. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
NBC Tonight begins with the show 25 million viewers and critics are raving about. The Contender. Then on Law & Order Criminal Intent, a madman playing Frankenstein.
He wanted her brain dead, with her heart still beating.
The gift that just keeps giving.
And on Crossing Jordan, when a cop killer's out for blood, help will come from an unlikely source.
Dad.
The Contender, Law & Order Criminal Intent, and Crossing Jordan. All new NBC Tonight.
So, we need broadband. Do we go for Time Warner?
I'm thinking Verizon Business DSL.
I've heard Time Warner's fast.
So is Verizon.
Let's talk price.
Price? Verizon starts low and stays low. Doesn't jump up like Time Warner.
Verizon Business DSL, the best value in broadband. Call 1-877-2598-DSL to sign up now.
So now I'm thinking Verizon.
I'm thinking my name should be first on the door.
The 270 horsepower Acura TL with DVD audio surround sound and available navigation is part of commutes everywhere. Possibly the best part. The Acura TL, a higher form of performance.
Diamonds, GIA and EGL certified. The Jewelry Factory has thousands of diamonds, all at low prices. Compare the Majors I1 1 carat for $4,900 with our SI quality for $2,900. Quarter carat solitaires are $89, half carat solitaires $299, and 1 carat studs $399. We specialize in 18 carat and platinum and carry 2 caraters and above. Only the Jewelry Factory has a low price and double value guarantee. Buy Factory Direct, the Jewelry Factory in Hackensack.
Put on your dancing shoes. March Madness is here tonight on Mike Up.
This copyrighted telecast of the Arena Football League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written permission of the AFL and NBC.
An emotional week for Philadelphia Soul quarterback Tony Graziani, as he had to fly out to the West Coast with the sudden death of his uncle. Eric Kirkland did not arrive back in Philadelphia until about 1 a.m. this morning.
He's had a very gutty performance today. You know, oftentimes after tragedy or while they're injured, players play their best games. Right now, Tony just showing a lot of heart out there playing that quarterback spot.
2nd and 1, Sean Scott in motion. They'll run it, and Ryan fights for the first down. Good extra effort by Chris Ryan, and that's one of the positions Philadelphia has not gotten a lot of production out of, that fullback linebacker position.
Well, he didn't get a lot of push right off the ball, just kind of belly bumped into the line, but then he found the second opening, got low, and got the first down. A good second effort. The first effort could have been a little stronger, but at 315 pounds, it's hard to get moving sometimes.
Playing AFL fantasy football, check out that ticker below. Scores and stats updated each quarter. Scott in motion on the 1st and 10 for Philadelphia. Graziani under pressure. He gets sacked. DeMarcus Johnson, the rookie from Central Florida, gets his first career AFL sack.
And watch the rush up the middle. That's the key to this. Umar Muhammad cleans somebody off, and DeMarcus Johnson comes in for the sack. You know, Tim Markham yesterday, we talked about DeMarcus Johnson. He said he thinks he's going to be a heck of a football player in that Southern draw, which I think means something more than just regularly going to be a good football player.
Mm-hmm. He's going to say he's got a motor.
Yeah.
2nd and 18 for Philadelphia. Crispina, little screen. Jones on the tackle. Sets up 3rd down for Philadelphia. 3rd and about maybe 12.
Yeah, you almost get back to the original line of scrimmage. Move the ball downfield. You know, throwing the hitch, throwing the short stuff underneath helps the offense just stay in rhythm. And even on a 2nd and 18, you've got really 3 downs to get that first down. So take little chunks at a time.
3rd and 12.
Go!
Scott the motion man. Graziani. Oh, what a catch by Crispina! Crispina tripped up at the last second by Ordway. There's a flag on the play.
And that's going to be an illegal defense. Lawrence Samuels got a little bit deep in that jack box.
Illegal formation on the defense, number 35, moving forward at the snap. A penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
So 35, Umar Muhammad actually called for the penalty. But Crespina, good job delivering that pass by Tony Graziani. Again, Muhammad just starting a little bit early, and I thought they were going to call Samuels out of the box. But Crespina doing a good job getting in front of Tremaine Jones, making the catch, and making the break upfield. And Ordway just enough of his heel to knock him down.
So 1st and goal for Philadelphia. They have a 6-point lead here in the 4th. James Fuller looking for his first win as head coach. He's going against the winningest coach in AFL history in Tim Markham. Only 146 regular season wins separate the two. Scott in motion. Graziani parks that one away, incomplete.
And Tampa was playing a zone look. They actually had a wide open receiver prior to the snap. Right here, wide open receiver. You see there's no DB in front of him. If they just run a quick receiver screen to him, they can make a play. Instead, they try to roll to that side, and they get upfield pressure by the defensive back.
Penalties on Ordway.
That's exactly it. You can't hit the quarterback as long as he's still a passer. You can rush upfield if you're a defensive back, but you can't make contact with the quarterback. You got to stay off. You see Graziani coming to the outside. Ordway can't make that play and hit him. He's got to stay off the quarterback. Oh, excuse me, that's Tolliver.
So first and goal at the 1. Ryan, the fullback. Scott in motion. Ryan, nothing doing.
You know, they're playing that zone look to the outside again. I'd come back up with that same trip set that they came up with a play before and just quick outside screen to the outside receiver. The inside guy is uncovered, but that outside DB is going to try to fall in to tackle the inside. Have that inside receiver make the block, throw a screen to the outside, and you waltz into the end zone.
Ernest Certain lost his shoe, so he'll tie that thing up. Certain and Johnson and Lawrence Samuels there to make the play. Second and goal for Philadelphia. Once again, Ryan, the fullback. Scott in motion for Philadelphia. Graziani just flipped it up. Smith wide open in a one-handed touchdown.
I don't think he had to catch that with one hand, do you?
No. Great if you catch it, but boy, if you drop that.
Yeah.
And look, I think James Fuller's telling him that.
Letting him know, just play action inside. When you're playing zone down there, oftentimes to stop the run. So Tampa was thinking run, especially with Soul Train Ryan in the game. Graziani just a quick jab fake, and nobody home to stop Steve Smith making the one-handed grab.
Tim Cedar on for the extra point. And he knocks it right down the middle. So the lead is 13, 69-56. Steve Smith having a whale of a day for the Philadelphia Soul.
The AFL on NBC, returning in 2 weeks.
Cobra 6, this is Spectre 6. Target identified.
Element search for Hotel Victor Tangos 2 and 8. Execute assault time now.
So, what do you think?
In the time it takes to take out the trash, you could save hundreds on car insurance. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Let's get campy!
New clothes are fun, but they won't save you money on car insurance.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Why haven't you called Geico?
Hey, did y'all know that Aaron's is having a sale? It's a dandy. They got they got a whole bunch of big screen. They got washers and dry. Hey, y'all better get down here fast.
No wonder everything's disappearing so fast. Do the math. Aaron's guarantees the lowest prices, like on this high-definition big-screen TV monitor, and you're pre-approved.
That's not all. Aaron's has furniture, like these Hey, the recliner was supposed to disappear, not me.
Tim Cedar to kick off for Philadelphia. They lead at 69-56 here in the fourth. Tolliver can't field it. That's a touchback. Hit the wall. So went through that slack netting. The AFL on NBC is brought to you by Aaron's. Let Aaron's drive your dreams home. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit them at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. The United States Army, an army of one. 69 points for the Philadelphia Soul. A new franchise record. They scored 66 in their opener this year, but the 69 a new franchise high, and they're not done. Stafford. Tolliver wrapped up by Crispina and Scott at the 11-yard line. Shane Stafford came into the game with 1 interception. He's been picked off twice. One was not his fault. The other was not a good throw.
Was his fault.
Right.
A little bit late, a little bit slow with the ball, a little bit of a loop. You know, it's amazing that he came into the game with just 1 interception. So the mistakes are going to happen. He's just had very few of them this year, and he's gotten away with the ones that he's had.
Solomon in motion. Stafford got Samuels and can't find him. Flag on the play as well.
Well, Tampa trying to run.
Illegal defense, illegal blitz, number 88. That's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Sean Scott called for the penalty. Don't forget, after the AFL on NBC, final round coverage of the Bay Hill Invitational presented by MasterCard here on NBC. Kenny Perry at 10 under par. Fred Couples making a move. He's 3 shots off the pace. 4 under for the day. Vijay Singh 3 shots back. If Singh wins and Tiger does not finish in the top 2, Vijay would become number 1 in the world in the rankings. Bay Hill on NBC coming up next. Samuels was wide open and Stafford missed him.
Took a long time for that play to develop. Freddie Solomon was looking to push the coverage downfield, get a little bit of a rub, and Samuels was waiting for him to clear so he could come across. Stafford's internal clock as a quarterback was ticking. He felt like it was taking too long. Ended up throwing that off of his back foot, but he did have a wide open Samuels and didn't have a lot of pressure on him.
2-possession game right now in favor of Philadelphia. 69-56. Plenty of time with 8:13 to go. Stafford. That time he fitted in nicely to Solomon, and they have the first down to the 19-yard line of Philadelphia.
Well, the play prior, Philadelphia had played that high off-man coverage, meaning that the safety was sitting really deep, and that's what took so long for that play to develop. So they figured if they were going to play that same look, that they'd come back and just run a quick sail to the outside, take advantage of all that cushion by Eddie Moten. Nice completion, pass and catch downfield.
1st and 10 for the Tampa Bay Storm. Stafford. Tolliver makes the catch as Crispina lost his shoe in making the tackle.
Last time they ran that is when Dell scored the touchdown. We saw him come free underneath. This time Crispina saw it coming, and as he did, he jumped underneath this. When he jumps underneath, that cuts off that big play at the end. Tolliver gets the catch, but Crispina makes the tackle. This time it didn't go for a touchdown.
And if you're playing AFL fantasy football, that ticker below updating you with scores and stats each and every quarter. Key to Crispina.
Out there tying his shoes and the gloves. How hard is that?
Yeah. His gloves are sticky.
Trying to grab the laces. No tactile sense out there with your fingers. It's a good way to get your two-way guys a rest, too.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Little tricks in arena football. Little things that get your guys a little breather.
You should make, like, the equipment guy come out and tie it. He can do it quicker. 2nd and 5. Tolliver to the 5. He was down. He was down inside the 5. 1st and goal for the Tampa Bay Storm.
And Tolliver was moving full speed downfield. Eddie Moten didn't want to stick his head in there at the end because Tolliver was low. Moten kind of held back a little bit, just hit him on the top of his back.
See the numbers for Sugar Shane Stafford. Huge first half.
And not nearly as big. 6 of 9 there.
Solomon in motion. 1st and goal. Stafford off the hands of Tolliver. Crispina on the coverage.
Well, that was the matchup that Markham told us he was going to go after. He was going to see if Crispina could cover Tolliver. And right now, Crispina's winning that battle. It helps to have familiarity with the offense. You know what these guys are going to run. Again, Kita Crispina, playing for Tampa last year, has a real familiarity with the offense, with the sets, with all the formations. So being able to pick out what he sees.
Stafford on the second and goal, trying to buy some time, looking for Solomon, who's got it for the touchdown.
Solomon made about 4 different moves on this route. He shook everybody on the field. He shook me up here in the booth. And Stafford doing a good job of buying time and finding Solomon across the back of the end zone.
So Freddie Solomon came into the game with 7 touchdown catches on the season, has 2 today. Georgia's extra point is good. So it remains a 1-possession ball game. Shane Stafford finding Freddie Solomon for the Tampa Bay score. It's the AFL on NBC.
Are you ready? Wow! Go! Wow! Are you ready? I can't do this. Go! No way! Not even for some Bud Light?
Fresh, smooth, real Bud Light.
See you, dude! Wait!
It's all here.
Right on target. Now you can target only your gray hair with Just for Men. In 5 easy minutes, it replaces gray with subtle tones for a natural look.
You're right on target.
Right on target. Just for Men, the Rejuvenator.
Start the day with a splash. Rain on the blue.
It just feels better with an Aqua Velva Man.
Finding your way through the financial maze can be difficult. That's what... So let us help you reach your goal.
The Commando, Joe Hamilton. He passes, he runs, he wins. Kevin Ingram, LA's Iron Man, never takes a play off. It's a coast-to-coast battle as Orlando hosts LA. Or Tony Graziani and Philly take on Columbus. The AFL on NBC, returning in 2 weeks.
Dan Hicks here in Orlando. Final round of the Bay Hill Invitational. Fred Couples on another Sunday comeback trail this week. Beginning the day, 7 shots off the lead, 4 birdies in his first 6 holes, including one there at the par 5 to get to 7 under. He's within 3, tied with a second-ranked player in the world, Vijay Singh. They're behind Kenny Perry. We'll have the final round coming up in a bit. Back to Bob Papa in Philadelphia. All right, Dan Hicks, what better way to wrap up your Sunday than final round coverage of the Bay Hill Invitational from Arnie's place out of Bay Hill. Onside kick for the Tampa Bay Storm. Loose ball. Still loose. Tampa says they have it. There is a flag on the play as well.
Well, the flag is back at the goal line, which means it's going to be kicking team offsides. There won't be a re-kick. Philadelphia will get the ball where it's finally down, no matter who recovered it. So they can sort it out all they want down there, but the penalty is going to take precedence here.
So you sit there and you say to yourself, why would Tim Markham onside kick? He's only down 6. There's 5:18 to
Yeah,
go.
I knew he was doing it coming out because they are 2 touchdowns down.
On the play. We have offside on the kicking team. We also have an illegal block on the kicking team, number 34. The penalty will be assessed half the distance to the goal from the recovery. First down.
And explain what you mean by 2 touchdowns down.
Because there's a turnover situation here that they are down by 2 touchdowns. No matter how many times they score, if Philly comes back and scores, they're still up by 14. So there's always going to be at least a 6-point spread right now. They need to change a possession. They need to change it up so that they can get the ball back and get back to where they're striking back and forth and try to bring it down to 1 score at the end.
See, in arena thinking, Markham's thinking, all right, we kick it off. Philadelphia is going to score, so they're going to go back up 2 touchdowns again. So you try the onside kick to offset that.
Exactly, and we're going to see him onside kick again if Philadelphia scores. He's hoping for a defensive stop, but we're going to see another onside kick out of Tampa if they stay at this 2-possession or 2-score pace.
It's part of the strategy behind the strategy. It's where the basketball strategy meets the football strategy.
Right. You have to find a way to get yourself back into the game so that in basketball, the final shot is the one that wins it for you. In arena, the final throw or the final kick is the one that wins.
Tony Graziani's career high for touchdown passes in a game 9. He's got 8. Knight in motion. He's got 3 in the game. Knight can't reel it in. Ordway on the coverage.
And Graz knows that he should have had that ball. Put the hands to the helmet after that. You see he's upset with himself. He had Knight. If he just puts a little touch over there, drops it in front of him, he has number 9 on the day, tying his career high.
What a game for Marcus Knight, the rookie out of Michigan. Came into the game with 2 touchdown catches, has 3 on the ball game. Former Oakland Raider.
And the Soul found a way to substitute with him today to get him in on offense more, starting him on offense today.
2nd and goal. Graziani checks back. It's incomplete. Foot on the line. Steve Smith. There's a line at the base of the wall.
Both his left foot hit the line and his right foot hit the wall. So out of bounds either way you look at it. You have to be alert as a receiver when you're near that wall. Catch the ball with your hands. You know, these guys want to jump and try to body these catches. Catch the ball with your hands. You don't leave your feet. That way you know your feet are in bounds.
3rd and goal for Philadelphia. Knight in motion. Graziani under pressure, gets sacked from behind.
And he had Knight early, but
Ricky Hall with the sack. His 2nd of the season.
Took an absolute shot. Watch the outside out here. Ricky Hall is going to do what's called running the hoop. He comes outside, runs fully around the end, and Graziani never saw it coming. That's his backside. And just didn't get the protection from the backside. Ricky Hall doing a great job using his hands getting upfield.
Tim Cedar to try his first ever AFL field goal. The former Dallas Cowboy, a 33-yarder. Those uprights are only 9 feet apart. With the crossbar 15 feet high. And he hooks that one, no good. James Fuller dismayed. So Cedar misses his first ever AFL field goal attempt. And now the Storm have a chance to regain the lead.
Get lost. Yeah, go away.
Honey, your dad got your favorite.
He looks hungry.
The new hot, fresh toasted subs are here. Like the Chicken Bacon Ranch. Toasted hot inside and out. Subway. Eat fresh.
I will not be afraid of the dark.
I will not feel guilty leaving my dog alone.
I will know my children are safe.
I will finally be able to relax!
A single ADT system can help protect your home and family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. Plus save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT. Always there.
The Netscape Internet service lets me choose if I want their unlimited access for just $9.95.
So does NetZero.
And Netscape lets me choose if I want to add email virus scan or Web Accelerator for faster web surfing and email virus scan.
Or, what do you get with those guys?
You just switch to Netscape.
Netscape Internet Service. Get online for $9.95 a month. Add Web Accelerator for faster web surfing. And if you sign up now, get a 1-month free trial. Netscape. Call or log on today.
Tampa Bay gets a big defensive stop as Philadelphia misses a 33-yard field goal, down 6. The Storm have the football. Dell in motion. Solomon the catch. Gain of 5 on the play for the Tampa Bay Storm.
And we talked about the onside kick and the possessions. That's not the way Markham wanted it to go. He would have preferred to recover the onside kick and drive down, but his defense turned it up, and a couple of miscues by Philadelphia. Now they have a ball and a chance to tie this thing up. Or actually go ahead if they just hit the PAT.
And it's not easy to score from the 10-yard line either. Stafford has Saunders, and that's a first down to the 16. You know, The ball was recovered by Philadelphia in the onside kick, and there was a 5-yard penalty, so the ball was spotted at the 10 instead of the 15, and they lost some room to score.
Yeah, the 15 would have made it easier. The 10, your reads become quicker. So in the red zone, starting at the 10, now you have to be on top of your reads, and you have to hit it right now.
And, you know, managing the clock, James Fuller, although he coached in AF2, this is only his 3rd game in the AFL as a head coach. Markham has been there, done that. And they work the screen. Hall's got it, picks up about 10. Ricky Hall's 2nd catch of the season. And the Tampa Bay Storm.
Iron Man football. Remember, he just had the big sack on Graziani. Comes back and catches a pass as a tight end.
Tim Markham, 146 regular season wins, the winningest coach in AFL history. Won 3 Arena Bowl titles with Tampa Bay, the last in 2003. And that takes us to the 1-minute timing rule. So Markham has it positioned the way he would like it. With 1 minute to go in the ball game, he's down 6.
We're going to see him run the football. You're going to see him throw some screens. He's going to try to work that full minute. The only other option is you go for the touchdown, the quick strike, and then right away you try to get the ball and use your defense to stop him. Because there's only 2 ways to manage this clock right now if you're Tim Markham. You have to either score right away and then let your defense work, or work the ball down the field, chew up the whole 1 minute, and try to keep it away from Philadelphia.
You know, in Philadelphia's last possession, Graziani had a shot with Knight, but he didn't see him. 1st and 10. Stafford. Oh, nice close on the ball by Eddie Moten.
Yeah, coming in, Moten was a guy that had 7 pass deflections, 7 pass breakups, and only 5 games played. Although he's a rookie, they felt he had a real nose for the ball and made some plays. He's made a lot of plays today.
Another reason why that's big, because it's an incompletion. Within the last minute, now the clock stops, and it saves Philadelphia from having to use a timeout. If Tampa is to score, it gives Philadelphia maybe a little bit more time. Stafford, a career high in the ballgame, 334 passing. Under some pressure, finds some time. Looking, end zone, got Saunders, makes the catch. Touchdown. There is a flag on the play. What a catch by Saunders.
And I'm not sure he was in the back of the end zone. That was a great throw by Stafford.
Pass interference on the offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
That's going to be an illegal pick.
It's on Freddie Solomon.
Remember we talked about the pick play before, the one that Crespina defended on? Well, Freddie Solomon, they've been doing this all game long. He probably got tied up with the DB this time. The officials saw it and threw the flag.
And you were wondering about the foot of Saunders and whether he got his foot in?
Yeah, well, that doesn't matter now because they got the pass interference penalty.
Second and 20 for Tampa Bay. Solomon in motion. Stafford back. Solomon makes the catch, and he gets tackled at the 20-yard line by Moten. Gain of 9.
And a good play call by Tim Markham. Knowing, again, that they're going to play that off coverage. Just throwing that quick sail route again. The same sail route we talked about before. Drop back, hit your 5th step, throw the ball.
Philadelphia has to use a timeout with 37 seconds to go. Time for our U.S. Army Iron Man of the ball game, and Chris Ryan of Philadelphia.
Doing it all, taking a touchdown off the right side to start it off. A big stop on defense, and then on special teams as well. So not just the 2 sides of the ball, but all 3. Gets a big kick block right before half.
That's our U.S. Army Iron Man of the game, Chris Ryan, the Philadelphia Soul. Right now he has nothing that he can do. He's on the bench. He needs his defense to get a stop. Shane Stafford down 6. 3rd and 4. Stafford under pressure, just heaved it up. Good pressure put on the quarterback. Winfield Garnett got in Stafford's grill.
And this was a fake off the play we talked about with the pick routes. It was made to look like they were going to come down and cross, but instead Dell runs to the corner, just didn't give Stafford quite enough space to put that ball in. He needed to commit more to the inside and get downfield. He didn't do it. Stafford had a real tight hold to try to fit it in and couldn't get it done.
James Fuller needs one more play. Tim Markham needs at least 4 yards. 4th and 4 for the Tampa Bay Storm. They trail by 6. Stafford, quick release, incomplete. Looking for Solomon.
Now, Philadelphia only has to snap the ball twice, and they have to get forward progress to keep the clock running. Tampa, Freddie Solomon here again running that sail route to the opposite side, and Stafford just outside with the ball. Eddie Moten there couldn't have made the play if that ball was catchable.
Okay, just to build upon your point, Coach Markham looks on. He's got 3 timeouts. Philadelphia must gain positive yards.
So they have to gain it 3 times to counter the 3 timeouts, but then they have to get a first down, because if you don't get a first down, then that 3rd timeout, 4th down, turns it over.
You cannot take the knee, and now Philadelphia calls a timeout. You've got to get positive yards. You can make an attempt on a run, but you still have to get positive yards, or else they stop the clock, as we saw last week in Grand Rapids with Chicago.
Right, but with 3 timeouts left, if you just move the ball and don't go for the first down, now you call timeout. It's 2nd down. You snap the ball, get positive yards again, timeout. 3rd down, you call timeout again. You snap it again for 4th down. That's a turnover. Tampa gets the ball back. Right. So Philadelphia actually has to get a first down on this series to run out the clock.
And you can try really hard to get positive yards, and if you get stopped and you don't get positive yards, they stop the clock as well.
That's every bit as good as a timeout. Right. So they have to come out passing. They have to get a first down. They have to force Tampa to use 1 timeout. Once Tampa's used 1 timeout after a first down, then Philadelphia can just get positive yards.
Smith in motion. They're going to run it to Ryan. Did he get positive yards?
Doesn't look like it on the spot.
So the clock will stop. And this happened to Chicago. Tampa calls a timeout. I guess they gave him positive yards. Looked like he got stopped behind the line of scrimmage and did not gain positive yards.
Well, the line of scrimmage is right on the 20. Chris Ryan got stopped.
Oh, definitely got stopped. He lost a
stopped.
yard.
He did not get positive yards.
Tampa should not have
stopped. So they burned a timeout.
Right. Tampa should not have had to use one of their timeouts. The clock should have stopped because he did not get positive yards. He lost a half yard under the rules when you're winning in the ball game in the last minute. Bad break for Tampa. Smith in motion. Ryan. He did not get positive yard that time. And you hear the bench yelling.
Well, they're not managing this properly anyway, because they have to get a first down. So just working on that front, you need to throw the ball downfield. And I'd take the shot on 1st and 2nd down rather than just trying to run the ball.
Or at least if you can get 6 or 7 on 1st down, maybe pass to Smith. Now your plays are more manageable.
Yeah, it opens it up for you. Throw a hitch. I mean, these guys are going to be pressing, so you want to run those routes to cross. Remember, right before half, or right after half in the 3rd quarter, Philly didn't run away from people.
3rd and 10. Graziani has Smith. It's not a first down. Tampa calls a timeout. Let's take a look at our ADT defensive play of the game. Eddie Moten of the Philadelphia Soul is our player that we honor today as he comes up with his first career AFL pick.
And again, that ball into the corner, throwing a little bit upfield, a little bit soft. Moten sees it. Good work in film study, knowing what's coming, driving on that ball.
That's our ADT defensive play of the game. So here we go. It's 4th down and 3 for Philadelphia. If they convert, they win. They get stopped on this play. Tampa will get one more crack.
And watch Tampa rush this kick.
Now remember, it is a live ball on a missed field goal.
And he's already missed a field goal.
Missed a 33-yarder. This is a 39-yarder. Milanese to hold. Cedar set. And his kick gets blocked. It got blocked in the middle of the field. Mike Sutton
told you Tampa was going to rush this kick. You have to know, you have to manage your downs properly when you have the ball. Philadelphia should have been throwing the hitches, should have been throwing the crossers, something first and second down. They ended up putting themselves in a hole. And just a great rush by Sutton inside to get that block.
Mike Sutton signed to the active roster this week, spent 2 years with the Tennessee Titans and 3 years in NFL Europe.
4 seconds left, 14-yard line. Tampa has to go for the end zone. They have to. So it's going to take all 4 seconds off the clock. No question about that. Philadelphia has to know that this is the play. They have to stop the touchdown at all costs.
Or take a penalty and
well,
not let
that's
them
what I mean.
score.
At all costs, be it a penalty, whatever it is.
And you first guessed it. Some of the inexperience of James Fuller in his 3rd game as head coach of the Philadelphia Soul, taking over for the fired Mike Trigg, did not manage that last bit of time properly, trying to run it, didn't get positive yards, saved Tampa a timeout, and it gives the Storm a chance.
And Tim Markham is great at converting on these chances.
This is the ball game. Tampa needs a touchdown to win. Solomon in motion. Stafford with time. To the end zone, batted away. Joseph Todd stepped in front of Samuels. No flag.
Samuels looking for the pass interference, but in all honesty, that ball was thrown behind Lawrence Samuels. The ball needs to be in front of him. If it's in front of him, that's a touchdown and the Storm win. But the ball was just off his back hit and gave Joseph Todd a chance to get it.
Joseph Todd makes the play, and Tampa Bay loses in Philadelphia 69-63, our final score. Coming up next, the Bay Hill Invitational. You've been watching the AFL on NBC.
The Contender, all new NBC Sunday at 8/7 Central.
So, we need broadband. Do we go for Time Warner?